Hello and welcome back to another episode of Toon Brothers. This time I am your host, Ben Sturgeon, and with me is wonderful co-host
Matthew Lewis.
And today for episode 51, we are returning to that wonderful gem of a show that blew my expectations the first part we did of Arcane.
Hell yeah.
And for those of you who are just now joining, why? Go back to the first episode of Arcane.
Yeah, or go back to Young Justice, our first episode.
Yeah, that too. But with us today, because it's Arcane, we have friend of the podcast, friend of the movie garbage, friend of Toon Brothers, and veteran computer man, Chris Man.
Yay.
Oh my God. We were literally just making jokes about this when we were warming up. It's your friendly everyday Chris who got bitten by a computer named Chris.
And had all the powers of Chris.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes, but oh my God, I have friends.
But yeah, so, you know, recapping a little bit, you had told me a while ago about this show, and I've been hesitant because, you know, League of Legends and everything like that. And oh my goodness. Yeah, part 1. Amazing. Beautiful setup. What about you, Chris? Like, well, how did you think of it so far? Especially the part that we are going to be covering today. No spoilers, obviously, for now.
Well, no. I did watch all of what's out there right now. I think we just have season 1, right?
Yeah.
Just the 9 episodes. Yeah, I did watch all that a while back, and it's freaking fantastic. Like,
absolutely.
I am aggressively just not into the League of Legends universe, the base game, or any of its spin-offs at all. I have no interest in any of that. You know, the monetary practices aside. But, like, Arcane, my God, that show is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It is so damn good. Visually, it's insanely beautiful. Just the Studio Fortiche, the animation studio behind it, are immaculately great.
What was the studio?
Studio Fortiche.
What else did they do?
I know that they just do a lot of the League music videos and stuff like that, and all the promo videos.
Right. Okay.
We went over that first episode of Arcane. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. You know, a little
but
bit
they were
of a
given
recap,
practically an unlimited budget just because the unlimited money that Riot has. But they were just
oh my God, right?
able to make the most beautiful show possible.
But yeah, which goes to show you don't have to like the main source material to
Absolutely
like
not.
any part of it. So
Yeah.
Well, let's just let's just go back in time, and by back in time I mean forward in time, because it's been a while since I've been in front of this live studio audience. And let's just start this off with part. Obviously, this is part 2, but it's still episode 4. Happy Progress Day!
Oof, it's such a fun episode. I was going to say, the parts did air a week apart. When they were airing, it was just the first 3 episodes, and then a whole week passed, and then the second 3 episodes released at once. And, everyone had to wait between each part, and it was just... Everyone was going crazy.
With everything that happened in part 1, that week must have been hell.
Yeah, everyone was completely talking about it. It blew up incredibly popular.
But unlike, in real life, where everyone waited a week... Several years have passed since Jace and Victor, blew up an entire room to stabilize a crystal.
And impressed Heimerdinger in the process.
Yep. And, where Powder exploded an entire building.
Oh, yeah.
Vi is... probably dead in that explosion too.
Oh, well, no, we saw her get taken by Marcus at the end.
That's right, we did.
Yeah. But also, I was saying the opening shot is a huge blimp being sent somewhere with a crazy hex gate, which we are going to find out the name of in a second. But showing that the hex tech that they made has super advanced, built over an insane amount since the last time we saw them.
How long how much time had passed since episode 3?
It's 10 just years? A vague about. I would probably guess maybe 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't really say.
Jinx was a little
episode.
child, and now she seems like maybe an early or late teen. So I would say maybe close to maybe 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it's funny because usually it says sometime during an episode.
Yeah, they're very vague with.
It usually says blah many or even many years later. But no, it's just it was just years later.
Yeah. Also, I think they're keeping it purposefully vague because I know characters' ages aren't too specified in the actual game, and also this part 2 and 3 are concurrent, unlike the first part, which was in the past. And these are all these events are pretty much like I established last time, maybe 5 to 7 years before the actual canon League time of like when everything else is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So this is still like pretty much in the past compared to where League goes from there.
And I guess if they keep it vague, this allows the studio to basically just like make as many episodes as Riot wants.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's true.
Yeah, but everyone is aged up. Well, not visually. Like Jace and Victor don't look too much different. Heimerdinger is obviously impossible because you're.
Yeah, I was gonna say Heimerdinger is just Heimerdinger. There's only like a handful of people that look different at all.
Visually, you can just guesstimate their age.
And speaking of people and Heimerdinger,
Mm-hmm.
Heimerdinger and Jace are in a room together.
Yeah, they're staring at the statue of
Stanwyck Pedidley.
Pedidley, yeah. And he was the founder of Piltover, and where it was founded to escape the Warring of Mages during the Rune War and all that other stuff, which is a huge League background event. But, like, yeah, they're showing that Heimerdinger was there 200 years ago when the city was founded.
Yep, he was one of the founding fathers, and unlike the last time when he was like, no, Jace, this is horrible, he's actually like, wow, you've done amazing work these past few years.
Yeah, and since it is Progress Day, since the anniversary of the founding of the city, Heimerdinger typically does give the speech, but Jace has been told that he's going to give it this year.
And, because this might be an important plot point, it's also Piltover's 200-year anniversary as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a bicentennial. But yeah, Heimerdinger's like, yeah, Jace, give the speech, and Jace is like, I can't take that from you. He's like, I have to agree with the council because it was their decision, and I agree with them. You're the guy who founded this technology. You should give the speech this year.
And he says, well, I do have something to show you. And he and Victor show him some of the new creations that they have made with the Hex deck. They reveal the rough-looking gems that they originally had.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. It cuts, actually, to Kiraman.
That's way later because the festival is like where he's actually already at Progress Day.
Well, no, because it jumps back to like more because he says, "Hey, Heimerdinger, come over to my research facility." Because you see his it's not a client, the person who gives you money.
The sponsors?
Thank you, the sponsor.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat known as Kiraman.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, oh, look at this protege of mine, blah, blah,
we do see, like, the convention of all the inventors. We see a number of people.
But more importantly...
You've done such good work now. I'll sponsor you again because you're no longer a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
And more importantly, though, not just this whole like, I'm just sponsoring everything like that. We get introduced to Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Actually,
now I was gonna hold it off for like later in the show, but Caitlyn is my favorite character of the show. Honestly,
really?
Yeah, she is my favorite character.
She is one of my favorites.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
we'll get there later.
Introduced to older her as an enforcer officer, but also I wanted to mention we do for the finally see some Vestaya, who are the animal-looking people, the like, vaguely humanoid. Vestaya are like to trace their lineage back to like humans and like spirit animals from the spirit world in Ionia and stuff like that. They also have like a long life and they do sometimes have magic and stuff like that, but they're just like another race that's around in League of Legends, but also just like all the furry bait characters in the League of
furry bait characters
and scaly bait and all the other tons of there's like all kinds of monkey looking ones, there's cat girl ones, there's fish people ones, there's all kinds of them, and they are
there's big ones, there's small ones, there's some as big as your head.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
they're different from Yordle, but they are.
So they were all like in the festival. Like
there were a couple of them. Yeah, you see a couple of them introduced here. We see some more later on in this episode too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But like that's just another race that's around in the League universe. But
and with Caitlyn, apparently Jace and Caitlyn like know each other. Like
he like flicks her hat and she like grabs his hand and puts him in an arm bar.
And he's like,
I'm an officer on duty.
Yeah, I'm on duty. Yeah, I know. You have to watch out for all the drunkards in front of your parents' tent.
And she talks about how upset she is that she was put on this detail by her parents, and also they do know each other because she was his assistant when she was a kid back in the first part.
Right.
She was carrying his equipment to the apartment that was blown up by Vi and Jinx, and then also when he was kicked out of the academy, he tried to come to her for help, and her parents told her not to talk to him.
Oh yeah. There was like, we don't care, money and wealth and power.
Exactly.
And power. After that little banter, knowing that that they're actually somewhat friends.
Yeah, well, they're good friends.
They're
since she was a
friends,
child, she's been friends with him, but also they reveal that she's been put on this soft detail. You know, she wants to be a real enforcer because of her money and her family's money. They want her to be like, you know, a socialite or whatever, but she wants to be a dude.
Right. You know,
it's establishing her character a little bit.
Typical, you know, I live with rich parents. Rich parents want me to be rich, and I don't want to do something more with my life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we've seen that trope before.
Yeah.
But as, you know, after it's like, you know, they say their goodbyes and stuff like that, you know, you see a bunch of drunks on a blimp or an airship. Happy progress day. And then we see, like, an actual, like, airship just dock somewhere. And, you know, it's just like you see a few notable people.
Yeah,
like,
we see that guy you keep referring to as the Dave Bautista looking guy.
But also the Dave Bautista motherfucker's there, yes.
And also Sevika from who was like a very... if you didn't pay attention in the first part, she was like one of the people who was arguing with Vander to like, we need to step up and we need to fight Piltover.
One of the more loud.
And then later on in the
she was in the explosion in episode 3.
Yeah, right? In episode 3 she lost her arm in the explosion.
Right.
Yeah, we see like a really quick shot of her shoving Silco out of the way and her getting blasted and her arm vaporizing in that explosion.
And as that's happening, you know, you see like one of the enforcers on the dog just like, do you have a manifest or anything? They just put money on there like, dude, come on. Get out of here.
Yeah, and we also see
paying
that
you, get lost.
They have large jugs or barrels of the shimmer, the weird drug that from the
that freaking thing that makes you a giant rage monster.
Yeah.
They have barrels of it.
Tons and tons of transporting.
And of course, you know, they're just like looking around and everything. And all of a sudden, you see in the shadows, you see weird masked figures
coming
with
out
hoverboards.
of like a sewer thing, like a sewer pipe thing. Just a huge, really cool ass, like glowy,
like, green glowy, like hoverboards and stuff like that. And they attack.
Yeah, and they say, oh no, the firelights are here.
Yep, firelights.
Yeah, and they have these really, really cool effects. The energy, of course, once again, all the like energy and smoke and fire effects in this thing are 2D, where all the extra visuals are 3D, and it looks so goddamn beautiful. They fly down, really cool camera trick of him like turning his head and like spinning upside down on the board, and they go they start really beating the shit out of all of Silco's people,
even using like some kind of like
crystallization bombs.
And after that it's just like they open up
forget the leader of the firelights does like start a timer before to
I think
to track the timing of the crystals.
Yeah, as soon as he starts throwing the bombs, he starts timing the crystals. We have like several minutes before they break out of them.
Yep, and then he's like, all right. And they open one up and they see that, it's shimmer. He's like, all right, check below deck. We need to make sure there's more there and burn all of this.
Yeah, they start dumping it off of the side. The people on top start dumping it off, and two other people go down underneath.
In a dark basement where all of a sudden the door closes behind them and you see like neon fucking purple lights
you see
with a symbol.
Yeah, a tripwire. You see like a big giant neon spray paint of like a monkey face, just like smiling, being stupid. And they're like, oh no, she's here.
The moment is like, oh no, she's here. It's like, oh shit, who's here? And, they go through and, like, it's, like, dark and everything, and they get exploded.
Yeah, they get blown up by... Something runs past them and puts 2 grenades on them, and they both get blown up. And above deck, they see the smoke coming out of the trapdoor, and they're like, oh, shit.
They're like, wait, what? Trapdoor opens, smoke just pours out, and you just see... You see powder. Yeah. Only everyone knows by now it's Jinx.
Yeah, she's much older, she's very, very thin, she has long blue hair.
And she looks like... Jinx?
Yeah, she looks like Jinx, the obviously titular character from freaking League of Legends, but she comes out kind of like innocently like, hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Yeah.
And then she just fucking goes ham on everyone.
Literally she's like filmed like a freaking horror monster, just completely destroying all these people, throwing grenades at them, like literally dodging all kinds of wrenches, dodging all kinds of attacks and punches. She's like incredibly agile. And just absolutely beating the shit out of the firelights.
Until one of their masks falls off and you see a red-headed girl.
Yeah.
Who looks similar, but is not the same as Vi.
Yeah, she actually gets confused, and this is one of my favorite shots because she's like holding the girl's wrist. She starts like having PTSD flashbacks of this girl looking exactly like Vi, but she's like holding her.
It's not Vi, actually.
No, it wasn't. It was very confusing to everyone watching. Yeah, because I was confused the first time I watched it too. It's just a different girl who's part of the Firelights who looks very similar to her, but her face keeps like flashing as Vi's to Jinx, and she's like holding a flare trying to set the stuff on fire. Jinx is holding her there completely like dazed. The girl drops the fire, setting like the ground above them, but she's completely unfazed, and she's like still like, just holding the girl there, just like staring at her. And
then after the drop, like actually gets free and starts running, and then just fucking bullet head,
just straight up like shoots her, and then like just shooting a ton of them, just killing a ton of these firelights.
Yeah, and then like as the leader holds out the timer, and you see it's almost done.
Yeah, we see.
He's just like, hey, we gotta go.
Yeah, we see Sevika start like pulling out, and then but as she starts firing on all the firelights. She pulls out her big giant classic
Gatling
gun and starts firing all around, shooting a ton of her own people, and like barely missing Sevica, but hitting the Dave Bautista looking dude. And she's just completely losing her shit and like destroying more stuff than the firelights were practically.
And of course, after the firelights leave, and Sevica's just fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
goes over to Jinx like, you were supposed to protect the cargo.
Yeah, she really gets in her face, but she's completely like just like stares her down, just even though she's like shorter than her, and like a super pissed off, crazy looking face. I love her face. She is so intense.
And of course, fucking Jinx is sitting there like giving her like the angry look, and like giving her like a crazy like what you gonna do?
Really staring Sevica down, just
this is like being fucking crazy.
Yeah, she's intense. It's awesome.
And then we go to the lab. This is where the lab happens, where Jason Victor.
Yep. They show him the new stabilized version of the Hex Tech crystals.
Which, if you remember from part 1, the Hex Tech crystals were like very sharp looking, very unrefined. Now they have. It looks pretty much the same, only it's much smoother.
Yeah, it's a proper sphere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, it's like, yes, we've refined it. Puts it down
on an anvil.
On an anvil. Gets a hammer. Heimerdinger, remembering what happened last time, don't do it. Gets smacked with a hammer. It does do like a little poof of magic, a big explosion of magic actually, but nothing's destroyed, and it actually is more stable.
Yeah, it actually does not explode, and it's actually, and they show we've made huge advances beyond just the transportation tech that we do, because we can send airships halfway across the continent in like seconds, and that's really impressive. But this new technology, they show the mining gauntlets, calling back to what Vander did in his past with like the fist things. That's a direct reference to saying like, yeah, those were mining fists or whatever, but now these new ones are powered, and each piece of a gigantic rock and crushes it with the huge gauntlets.
Right, and of course, it's like, yeah, miners can literally mine with these and not feel fatigued at all. Anyone can do it. And even Victor's like, hey, we also have like this mining crane that shoots a laser.
Oh no, it's a Hex Tech. It's a Hex Tech claw, and it's he said for artisans to like design stuff, and he's using his hand to like kind of navigate it as it's
like shoots a laser.
Yeah, into this metal.
Doing a Heimerdinger face, and even like when it does like the final swoop, it actually like cuts it.
Yeah, showing that the laser is pretty strong.
Right, and he's like, yeah, look, our artificers we can do so much with this. Laser shoots, almost hitting someone. It's just like,
it's in the Heimerdinger does have his little pet Poro with him, which are Poros are like little tiny. Fuzzy little dog cat looking things.
They're tribbles with legs and teeth.
Yeah, the little cute little thing.
Stop that. But Heimerdinger, even almost getting shot, was just like, wow, boys, this is actually very fascinating. This is great progress that you've made. In about 10 years, this will be ready to be shown to the world. Once you safeguard and everything, Victor and Jace are like, wait, what? We were thinking of, it's progress day.
Yeah,
maybe we can show them something now.
And he's like, no, you guys trust me. Just need more time, more safeguards. It'll be great. But yeah, keep at it. And
a decade's fine. You can wait that long, right?
Yeah, that's nothing.
I'm a Heimerdinger. I can live forever. Everybody can live forever.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I can live forever, like all of you can, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Very much.
Oh wait, you can't you? Meanwhile, as that's happening, we go back to the airship.
Yep, one of my favorite scenes. This whole scene is pretty much like no dialogue. It's Caitlyn going back to the airship to investigate what happened with Jinx.
Sneaking.
Yeah. Well, the other enforcers are talking to some of the cargo people, finding out what happened. She sneaks under the tape, goes in, and you actually see her doing like an investigative tracking of everything that happened, looking at the shells on the ground from the gun, looking at the damage to the ship and the crystallizations on the walls, and just completely like
with like a little pick the box, actually taking pictures of all this
crime
scene, doing something that an investigator should do.
Yeah, a really, really good investigator, what the other enforcers don't seem to be doing.
And then she actually goes to the basement, taking more pictures of the symbol, finds the manifest that got approved, and everything,
and the signs of shimmer that are the residue of shimmers.
Exactly. But it also finds like a little compartment on the bottom where Dave Bautista is like, oh, like you can see he's shot, and she's trying to question him, like, who are you working for? What's going on? He's like, look,
I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. She's crazy, and also I can't say who I'm working for. He'll kill me.
Yeah, and he's like, well, who are you working for? You can tell me. And then of course, once again, Marcus pops up.
fucking Marcus. Woo.
He's now sheriff.
Yeah, he's sheriff now. And, he's just like, it's Caitlyn, the rich girl.
Like, aren't you supposed to be guarding your family's tent? What are you doing out here?
Literally the whole, like, I can be better than this. No, we have a chain of command police bullshit.
Yeah, he just, obviously we know he's a corrupt piece of shit.
Absolutely. That has already been established, hasn't it?
Yeah, in the last episode. Yeah, in the last season part.
Right, yeah. He's a corrupt dickhead who's working for Soko and stuff. It's just like, but she's like, you get out of here. We'll take it from here. Yeah, we're the FBI. We can do what we want.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sheriff.
Yeah, she's kind of disappointed, but she does leave and it's
Yeah, and that also, he's like, oh, and since you were looking for more work, you can take the graveyard shift tonight.
You can watch the Progress Day speech, and she's like, oh boy. Great.
Yeah, she's like, fucking. Ugh.
Yeah. This one we cut to Sevika at the last drop, which we see now she kind of runs along with Soko.
A lot has changed. It's not like a good. It's not like a good speakeasy kind of place. No, it's a fucking rave now.
Yeah, there's like tons of the shimmer and like chemtech use, and like people augmented themselves and all kinds of crazy stuff. We see a lot of people doing shimmer. We cut to a whole montage of the Undercity. And like how much it's degraded since Vander left and since Soko's taken over, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And then of course the last drop is now a club with like 2 bouncers and everything. Yeah. And of course, Sevika is none too pleased and goes straight to Soko, being like, "Dude, she's a fucking menace. You need to get rid of her. Everything went to shit because of her." And Soko's like, "No, hold on. You were supposed to be making sure everything went smoothly. You should have had control of everything. Yeah. And what did you do? You disappointed me. Go back out there and don't disappoint me again." Yeah. And of course, Sevika's.
I think he does also drop a line like we own the sheriff. Like have him scrub this.
Yeah, he drops a few things establishing things that you probably knew from part 1. Mm-hmm. We control the sheriff and everything like that. And of course, Sevika leaves in a fit of pique.
Yeah.
But then, of course, after that, it's just like...
The camera pans up and we see that Jinx is actually in the room on the rafters.
Right, and he's just like, wow, today is going to set us back a few weeks. What happened? And, of course, Jinx is like, yeah, she was right. I flumped it up.
Yeah, she was kind of like drop down stealthily on the desk, kind of like crushed up in a little ball.
Well, you do hear like a thump. Yeah. But she's like, she literally told you everything. And he's just like, but I want to hear it from you. Yeah. AKA, good father... Or whatever the hell he is.
Exactly, yeah.
But I still think it's father, but
it's
weird.
We'll get to that at the end of the episode because there's like a weird dynamic debate about what their weird relationship. Right.
But either way, he's like, yeah, I'm asking you. We'll just say guardian for now.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I saw a girl. She looked like her.
There was a girl with red hair. And she looked like her.
And Soko's like, she's dead. We both know that she's dead. Gives her this weird little thing that he's setting up for his eye. The fucking weird shimmer medicine, whatever.
Yeah,
no, it's just shimmer. Let's be real.
But she kind of crawls into his lap and then puts it over his face for him.
And also flies around a little bit.
Yeah, we also see her like a little like, hey, sisters, you can't live with them, can't shove them in the old baby maker.
Right? Oh, that line makes me laugh so much.
She's being very cute, but also very like hectic and like jittery and all over the place.
And like literally the way they animated it, I liked it too because it does have like the static where she's like jump.
Yeah, you're gonna see that.
Where you can see that she's like going a little.
Yeah, she's a little not all there, but yeah.
But then, she's like, yeah, can't do that. You can't live with, can't put him back in the baby maker. And then Soko's like, after what happened today, Sevika's gonna clean up the mess. Yeah. And of course, Sevika, that ogre, she couldn't even do anything right. Yeah. And then he's just like, after, she actually calms down a bit, gives him the fucking
taps
shimmer.
His weird like metal eye, or it's like his glass eye, and like kind of taps it.
Is that a glass eye? I think that's just real eyes.
No, it's not a functioning eye. It's definitely a replacement because it like tinks like when the needle literally taps the eye, makes like a clinking noise, and then a little drop rolls off of the eye like down his face. Okay. So it's like a weird. Yeah, it's a weird. Like it's a false eye.
I thought he was just poking his pupil all the time.
No. It's definitely a false eye.
But either way, after that, Soko's just like, hey, you need to go back to your room.
Yeah, you focus on you go take some time off, focus on your gadgetry, Sevika will handle it, and she's just like, whatever.
At first it's like, no, I don't want to, because, you can tell that because he's saying this, you can see, like, her, like, just drained, like, oh, fuck, what the hell? Like, no, I don't need it. Well, take it anyway. Pretty much, like, go to your room kind of thing. Yeah. Go to your room. Yeah, pretty much, actually.
And this is when we cut to
Mel. A lavish cocktail party.
Yep. Mel and Alora are at a party with all the other high-status people in Piltover.
Have we seen any of these characters prior, or is this our first time seeing them?
I think, it's the council people, but a couple of extras.
Mel was in the prior one because she's the one who...
No, I knew that Mel was... Yeah. Well, it's all the council people we met, too. And she was talking to Allura in the first scene when she was picking
Right, yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember if we were actually introduced to them. But, yep, Mel and Allura are just sitting there, and, Mel's off to the side because, everyone here is just boring because they can't give me anything new. And that guy, on the other hand, looks at an airship with fucking Jace on it.
Yeah, big giant picture of Jace.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention. Everywhere on Progress Day, there have been like posters, banners, airships that have Jace on it, and it's Man of Progress.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So that's not gonna make a complex or anything. But she's like, that guy on the other hand, and Allura's just like, oh, the golden child.
Yeah, whatever.
Speaking of which, and who should walk into the cocktail party but Jace?
Yep, and he has to speak with her in private. They go off to the back and they discuss that he has all these cool inventions, but Heimerdinger's saying to wait. He wants to introduce him on Progress Day, but he doesn't know what to do. And she does emphasize, like, you should. It's Progress Day. You're correct.
Kind of being a weird schemer, it seems like. Yeah. I mean, then again, she is a political head.
No,
but she's like, no. This is Progress Day. What better time to, reveal things than here, now? And, Jason's
we need to give people a glimpse of the future for what's going to come. We can't focus on the past,
Right, yeah. And Jace is kind of torn. You can't kind of tell, but he does actually take what she says to consideration because it looks like he kind of agrees with her, but you can definitely see there's some kind of inner turmoil going on there.
Yeah, and cut that. Oh no, so yeah, they're kind of having their relationships are growing, but we cut to Jinx back in her little weird, like a weird hangar looking thing. It looks like an airplane hangar.
Yeah, huge. Like it's like a destroyed engine kind of thing.
Yeah,
that she's on. And we get to see the full extent of her insanity.
Yeah,
her PTSD, I should say.
Yeah, well, far be it from us to diagnose whatever the hell she has going on, but it's a lot. It's whatever it is.
Yeah.
A number of mental disorders, very much.
Yeah, going forward, just in case people are going to worry. Yeah, we're not doctors. We don't know what's going. We don't know. We just know that it's either A, very PTSD, or B, she's not okay.
Yeah,
she's not okay.
We can discuss that more in the post episode because there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, we do see that she has a weird a doll of Milo and a weird doll of Clagger. I think there's also a doll of Vander thing there too. But,
there might have been, but in this,
Clagger was like the floating doll, right? Or
with the glasses on.
Yeah,
the goggles.
It's like we actually see her he's gonna have her do these things. That means he thinks I'm weak, and you see one of the dolls actually it looks like
a weird sketchy
a sketchy kind of version of Marco, was it?
Milo.
Yeah, Milo. He's just you don't hear anything, you just see it, and she's like, shut up, I know, she's talking to
him. But also she's also tinkering with her grenades, fixing them and setting them off and putting them on the ground, having a full conversation, not paying attention, and the last second kicking it off nonchalantly as it explodes right near her, and she's completely who cares.
Right, about and all of this is going on. Holy shit, this was actually one of my more favorite scenes.
Any scene with Jinx is fucking incredible.
This one particularly because everyone when she was first introduced in this episode, you could see that she had something going on, but this you see the fucking full extent of it.
Oh yeah.
And
very she's good character establishing here.
Yeah, seriously. But she's like, oh yeah, he thinks I'm weak. He thinks I can't do anything. Then her mood changes. I forget if she picked up something or something, but she's her mood changes and she's like, I can prove that I'm...
I think she sees something for Progress Day.
I think you're right. Yeah, and she's her mood goes from she's not feeling okay to she gets happy. And she's like, I can prove to him that I'm really useful and strong. And then we cut to Jace in the back getting ready to get...
Victor's also there with his crutch. I think he's
with his crutch.
Yeah, he's not feeling too well, but and Jason's like, okay, I'm ready to give this speech. Come on, Victor, you want to join me?
Yeah, that right there was an important thing.
Yeah.
Because he's he wasn't just going to be like, hey, I'm ready for my speech and just getting ready to strut on up there. No, he's like, dude, Victor, you helped with this. Come join me.
Yeah.
Join me, my brother. And Victor's like, dude, seriously, in front of all these people,
no, I can't.
This is your day. And in a maybe slight foreshadowing, he's like, okay, fine. You see the view, the pan back of distant Victor. He's like, okay, well, it's my time. It's my time to go on. Puts a mug down and it covers Victor entirely with the Jace.
Yeah.
Man of Progress. I'm like, foreshadowing.
There's a lot of visual foreshadowing. Yeah, it's
well, a small detail, but it's just like they did that on purpose.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to say about Victor in this whole arc.
Don't shove out Victor.
I know, right?
I know. Well, also, just like I always keep like hinting at, like knowing where Victor ends up in League, it's just like, oh boy.
And we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But as that's happening, Jace goes on up.
Miss Gearman is introducing him, saying the new meta progress. To give the speech for Progress Day, it's Jace, and then he goes up to the thing. He starts giving his speech. It's full of of course the platitudes of adventures and stuff like that.
My family started. We were poor. We made hammers for people. We wanted to make.
They did the stonework that you guys are sitting on now. They helped build the city from the ground up.
Yep, and then when he mentions the hex tech, and everyone's like,
the hex gates can be cinematic travel.
There's more. But there's more we can do. And I would love to show you, and there's like long pauses.
This whole speech, we keep cutting to the audience. We see Heimerdinger in the audience with kind of like knowing.
Don't you do it? Don't you fucking do it, boy?
Yeah, and we also keep cutting to Mel and Alora, kind of just like, come on, do it, go forward, come on. It's new.
And then Jason is like, which we will show you, and you even see Victor in the back getting ready to reveal this shit.
Yeah, he's ready to show.
And he's like, not right now.
Like when it's ready.
Yeah, when it's ready. It's we want to make sure safety is important first.
Yeah.
And everyone cheers for him.
Yeah, and then he goes on some more platitudes about but we're here for progress and adventure. I'm looking forward to the future. And then he looks at the seats where Mel and Alora were, and they are heading out pissed.
Yep, they're heading out not very pleased. And Heimerdinger, his expression doesn't change, but you can definitely see he's not as on edge. And even Victor's like, wait, what?
Yeah, what the hell? We're supposed to reveal it.
Yeah, he's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, and this is when we got to one of my favorite scenes of the outside. We see some of the officers who are supposed to be guarding it kind of just sitting around smoking. So I thought that golden bow was supposed to be showing something cool. There was nothing there. It was boring and stupid.
Yeah, and we see the difference between Caitlyn and the others, because she, they're like, yeah, look at that blimp earlier today and blah blah. It's an airship, and she describes it as, sorry, Miss Important Rich Person.
Yeah, and one of the female officers is like, didn't you have a cocktail party you should be attending? What are you doing out here with us?
Yeah, right.
And she kind of just laughs. She kind of laughs it off, like, yeah, okay, guys. But they're kind of just like, whatever. And then she notices
a fire.
Yeah, a fire far off in the distance. She's like, fire, and the other officers finally get up their butts.
Yeah, it's like fire over there, and it literally all of them were like, nothing's happening, so why the hell not? But once this happened, they actually go up and they actually are very tentative. What's going on? Get the fire brigade. Yep. Sorry, I almost called it department. It's like, no, this is the brigade.
yeah.
She's getting a fire extinguisher.
Yeah. Caitlyn goes to get a fire extinguisher. The other officers who stay in front do start hearing a voice saying, help me.
They hear a little girl.
Yeah, a little girl voice saying, help me, I need help. I started, and then
it's too hot in here, and they run in.
Yeah, as she's getting the extinguisher, starts putting out the fire outside. Inside, you see the officers kind of looking around and saying, help, I started the fire.
And this,
the little girl saying that.
And on the outside, they do get the fire controlled, and you see a certain painting on there. And Caitlyn's just immediately like, out. Get out of there now.
Yeah. It's the same monkey spray paint face that she saw inside of the...
Help! I'm just a little girl. I started the fire. Totally by accident. Incredibly by accident.
Yeah, as the voice starts dropping into a weird, crazy... It starts sounding more obviously like Jinx, but it also sounds like more like robotic and creepy.
Right? I just love it. It gets all distorted and shit. And then... explosions.
Yeah, we see a bunch of her grenades, her chomper grenades, hanging from the ceiling inside the building, and they all go off, killing literally
everyone
all the officers,
inside. At least
all the officers inside. Yeah, we find out
and Caitlyn's still outside, and she gets blown away. She gets blown out. And she has the blurry vision kind of thing, when one is wont to do. And in the distance, you see in her blurry vision, there's someone far away, and it zooms in. You just see Jinx looking back with
a book bag saying and just sneaking in.
Leaves.
Yeah, and Caitlyn passes out. And this is when it cuts to the next morning. We see that we see the blown out area where the Hex Tech Crystal Gemstone was, and we see spray painting, explosions, and all stuff around. It's a quick shot of them, of Jace talking to the council, saying yesterday it was stolen. We do see the visual shot of obviously her saying haha, I took it, or happy progress day. I think she spray painted on there.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But it's just Jace and Victor. We had talking about what's going on.
We had a refined gemstone and somebody stole it. And then the council says, can somebody make a weapon out of this in the Undercity? And
Jace is unfortunately, in the right hands, it can be done. Because one of the things is like, wait, someone from the Undercity, because they immediately blame the Undercity for this. Yep. And they're like, oh, they couldn't do anything with it, right? And one of the other council members is like, dude, we've seen their technology. They can do it if they really want to.
Yeah, and this is when Jace posits, we stop all Hex Tech gates, we stop all Hex Tech research until we get this gemstone recovered. And they're like, whoa,
no.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines, like, what are you supposed to tell the Noxians they can't get their wine? I'm just like, hell yeah, Noxus. Well, I'll talk about them later.
Yeah, as you are wont to do. But then as all of this is happening, Jace is like, guys, look, I'm trying to think of the safety here. Right now, there's danger afoot because this thing is capable of doing good things and bad things. And Mel just is like, you know what? We're at an impasse, Councilman. And here's the thing. On one hand, we can't, like, if we don't do anything, things are going to go bad. On the other hand, if we do something, we could cause an incident.
Yeah.
So, why don't we do something a little more drastic? I think we should invite someone else in the council. Someone
a
who...
new seat.
A new seat. And they're like, whoa, hold on. 7 seats. There's a reason why it's 7 seats.
Yeah.
It's only been 7. And she's like, now hold on. Now hold on. And of course, one of the weird machine-looking guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is.
Bulbok, yeah.
A Bulbok. He's like, does this boy have any experience? She goes, no, he's just a scientist. Like Heimerdinger was.
Yeah, and Heimerdinger's like, I agree, we should give him a seat.
Yeah, well, he actually sits and thinks about it for a moment. He's like, you know what? I agree. I agree with Councilman Mel. I think a new seat should. And all of the while, Jace is sitting here like, what? Because they're obviously talking about him being a part of the council as part of safety. And he's just sitting here like, whoa, no, wait, what? Huh? But, yep, and then, of course...
they put it to a vote.
And we cut back to Jinx.
Yeah, now this is...
Again,
listening to the theme song, I think it's called Here Comes Jinx, something like that. It's her theme song from the actual game.
Is that what those words were?
Yeah, the song is like her theme song. Her like introduction music video was like her doing explosions and running around like all different like worlds and cities and in Runeterra. But like it was her original intro thing back like I think 2013 or so when she was introduced into the game. Mm-hmm. But like it's in the song is literally her theme song. She's listening to like playing. It's a really fucking good song too.
And she's in like, pure bliss. Like she's just making shit and just being all happy with her crazy like vision things going on. And in the background, very muffled. But you see Silco and he's like trying to call her name. Jinx. Turns off the fucking music. He's like, Jinx.
And also
6 Enforcers dead.
This is when we first find out that her name is Jinx.
Yes.
This is the scene where we find out she is Jinx now, not Powder, and that is who this character is now.
Right, yeah. So he's like, Jinx. 6 Enforcers are dead. You caused the huge scene. Do you have any idea everything that you have done?
She's kind of laughing off every time. Like 6 Enforcers.
But and then you're like actually still happy. And Soko's just like, have you any idea everything that you've done? She just sits up, like stands up, actually holds out the refined orb, like the refined Hex Tech orb.
Yeah.
I do. And Soko just takes it, and he's just like silent, like. Huh.
Yeah. Ooh,
I see.
And she says, with this we can finally complete our project. And
yeah. And then we go to...
one of my favorite scenes, back to Caitlyn chilling out, and we see Jace approaching the Kierman house.
Kierman, thank you. I can never remember that.
Yeah. And he knocks on Caitlyn's door, and he brings her some flowers, saying, hey, I hope you're feeling better after the explosion.
And she's like, hey.
Yeah, grabs her by the arm.
Over here, let's go.
Grabs her by the arm, like throws the flowers into a big pile of a ton of flowers. She's done, because Caitlyn's awesome.
The way I described this to Chris... like earlier was this is what happens when you have an American and a British person talking because Caitlyn is extremely like English and she's like, listen, I have this going through plan when something happens, like Jason's like, wait, this and this, yes, come on, focus up, come on, keep up, that's what it is, come on, keep up. This is like, oh my gosh,
she is so awesome.
she is great, and it's not as crazy as. But she literally does have the red wires and pins and everything. Yeah,
conspiracy board Pepe Sylvia.
And
Sylvia. Honestly, I got vibes of like that one like old stand-up from Robin Williams where he was talking about like the Scottish people.
Oh my goodness! Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I mean, she was literally speaking as fast as like he gave his stand-up.
Yeah.
Like what's Charlie's character in Always Sunny?
Charlie.
Is it actually Charlie?
Yeah.
Like Charlie with the fucking board.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Only it's on the floor, and she gives out her theory that this and the airship were all connected. We find out who's in charge of that. We find out who the issue is, and of course, Jace is like,
wow, that's really
great.
impressive.
That is great. That is impressive. But the council needs more than just theories. And Caitlyn, scoffs a little bit, like, when did you care?
What do you care what the council thinks? Like, well, since I became a member.
Yeah, because since I became a member just today. She laughs a little bit.
Yeah, she's just like, say what?
And she literally laughs and just looks at Jace, sees that Jace isn't changing his face, and he's just like, Oh, you're serious, aren't you?
Serious? Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I kind of wanted to let you on my team.
Yeah.
And she's like...
some kind of, like, security position.
Yeah, security position. She's like, I would literally be behind a desk. I mean, I already have a job. Thank you so much. And he's like, about that.
Yeah.
You don't have a job anymore. And this is literally the best I can do. And she's obviously upset.
Yeah, she's super...
Takes it out on him. And it's just like, no. She's like, well, I don't need charity. Get out of my room, pretty much.
Yeah, she just like really shoves him up, really angry. Their long friendship is probably really damaged by this. And she says, I'll investigate this on my own. I don't need you. Because like, her parents had her taken off of the enforcer gig after the explosion. And so she's super pissed. And she's still like supposed to be like recovering from the whole incident. But yeah, she...
wasn't it done like to try and keep her safe? Or
yeah, her parents took her off because they want to keep her safe, but she wants to continue to be an enforcer. Obviously, she wants to investigate this thing.
Yeah.
And so she's really pissed off at Jace, and so she goes off on her own to Stillwater Prison.
Stillwater.
This is when we see another Vestai. That giant guard is another... another type of Vestai. The
Vestai?
Guard, the Vestai...
Wait, he's a Vestai?
He's not human.
He looked more humanoid than anything.
They're
big... Fucking
gray
huge,
skin. He has like pointy ears. He's like a huge. Yeah, he's really huge.
Okay,
there's a variety of them.
Either way, you know better than I do. So I'm just like, really, Caitlyn's like, hey, I want to talk to one of the prisoners. He was part of the airship incident. Oh, prisoner 2135. Yeah, you can't talk to him right now.
We do see we see like a visual flashback of him in the jail eating the food. Like,
Dave Bautista, by the way.
Yeah, the big guy with the tattoos, and he's kind of eating the food. Like, it's disgusting. Like, well, there's kind of an incident. We see somebody walking up to him with a food tray and then smacking the shit out of him with it and beating the fuck out of him.
Because as that's going on, like Caitlyn's like, wait, is something wrong? There was an incident. What kind of incident? The not good kind.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to speak to him. Oh, no. You'll be able to when we get his jaw back together.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she asks the right question.
Yeah.
Who did it? And then you see, Caitlyn, whatever.
Going down the elevator. 40 floors down into this prison.
Really fucking deep.
Huge.
And then you just see, like, as the elevator's going down and as Caitlyn's going, you just see someone punching a wall, as they always do.
Someone tatted up, like punching the wall, exercising, and then she kind of goes up to the gate and saying, like, who's like, hey, are you the one who beat up the guy? And then she looks in and we see a girl with short red hair and
a tattoo with a tattoo underneath her eye.
Yeah, that says VI.
it's Vi.
Yeah, and
who the hell are you?
Yeah, and then end of episode.
Yeah. So
that
was the starter of part 2.
Yeah, what a fucking cool ass start. Introduced to Jinx finally,
like officially. Yeah,
pretty much the poster child for League for the longest time. One of the most popular.
Still
characters.
Probably is.
Yeah, well after this especially, yeah. But yeah, right. It's like just seeing her development. Now this is what I wanted to save after the part 1 finale. I think that this weird, crazy version of her, she had that, and like obviously like pretty unarguably sociopathic tendencies. I think she had this when she was a child as well. Before the explosion, I want to argue that she already had these predispositions, from making a nail bomb that she tried to throw at those kids that they were in a fight with, to the actual post-explosion sequence. I saw somebody pointing out, like in one of those breakdown videos, that like after the explosion and after what happened and seeing everyone dead, her first reaction isn't upsetness at what she did or, anything that happened. Her upsetness is directed directly at Vi for leaving her. She has very little regard for Vander at that point, or Milo, or Clagger. She's just upset that Vi left her. And that's like her main focus that she's upset about. And also remember when she was like super apoplectic, screaming with her, like screaming, ripping her dolls' heads apart, and when she was left behind by Vi originally. And like everything else she did up to that point, I think that you could read even Child Jinx in part 1 had these tendencies.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't very obvious.
Yeah, it wasn't super obvious, which I liked about that. But
but then the actual trauma
when
does
you break it when you break
further.
it down, when you break it down like that, and then and when someone want to be in that state at the moment, what's the logical thing to do? Well, I'll tell you what, it's not punching her in the goddamn face and then leaving her.
Yeah, Vi did the wrong thing, but that was very unfortunate. And also, spoiler for later, when she like launches herself at Silco, she fully knew that Silco was intending to kill her. Spoiler alert, we found that out later in the series, that she knew what Silco was going to do. She did that on purpose. She glumped onto him, said, "Oh, my sister left me and I'm so upset." She did that, even as a child, in that state, completely on purpose. That was not like her lashing out uncontrollably. She knew what was going to happen. And it's just like, she's such a hugely deep character. We're going to find out more as we go on with the series, more of her mental mapping of her ridiculous character, but she is so fucking fascinating.
She really is.
And I want to say, you described her. How did you describe her to me back when after we did part 1?
Oh, you think I remember that?
You said Harley Quinn, but better.
But hey, but am I wrong?
Oh no, yeah, she's fucking incredible.
She really, and I still stand by that because don't get me wrong, characters like this, it's sad that it happens and everything like that, but where Harley Quinn, she kind of had the hots for one of the inmates, and that inmate decided to twist her brain a little bit, and it became that.
Yeah.
By the way, kids, if you ever hear someone say, "I want a relationship like Harley and Joker," smack them in the face, please.
They're an insane person.
But with Jinx, with Powder, it was. Things were starting to build up a little bit. Like everything. Because I think in the past, when we were talking about part 1, it was abandonment issues and stuff like that. And, they were all piling up. And the final, snap of the straw was literally getting punched in the face by her sister and having her just walk the fuck away.
Yeah.
And theory crafting, with the whole sociopath, which... Not gonna prove or disprove that because it's a theory and you make a very valid you make a very valid point. You make very many palette.
we did
warm ups and I still am stuttering over my words. You made many valid points. See, why was that so difficult?
Right.
But it's just I want to wait a little bit longer before I actually put my theories on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just everything just happened and they all the pieces just fell through, and now it wasn't just one person warping her, which obviously many years have passed, and she's been with Silco this entire time. Yeah. So obviously there's going to be a little bit of manipulation. Mm-hmm. But it's just it wasn't one person doing it because she had the hots from it. She lived a hard life, and all of that coupled with all of her fucking anxieties and stuff like that just literally built her into what she is now. Silco manipulating her into being a part of his crew and everything like that did not help. For obvious reasons. It just wasn't one of the main factors.
Yeah, and I was going to say she was also technically part of a gang before that. As a kid, she was still running crimes and doing bad shit beforehand. So
only now we went from petty thefts to fucking drug dealing.
Yeah, which I don't think she really gives a shit about.
She doesn't. Yeah. But it's just. But, and it's weird. Like I said, there's that whole debate between what Silco and Jinx are.
Yeah.
It's just weird to think.
It's weird because she does, weirdly crawl into his lap during that one scene, but she does, demur to him like a daughter a lot all the time, so it's, it's all over the place, but it's a very interesting relationship.
But you can tell, unlike with, Joker with Harley Quinn, he literally is just using and abusing.
It's not explicitly romantic.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, where literally Joker is using Harley.
Actively abusive,
always. You see that Silco is willing to give her benefits of the doubts.
Yeah.
In many
situations. He gives her all the leeway in the world.
In this episode,
he
literally defended Jinx.
Yeah.
And then after Selvika left, he was just like, all right, she's gone. Let's talk, kind of thing. So you actually see that he does have some form of care for Jinx. And, he tries to put it off, absolutely believing that, Vi's dead. And, trying to help her along slowly.
Yeah.
Not always the best methods, because he's still a crime lord.
But also, seeing how he treats other people going on, but then also seeing how non-aggressive he was when she killed six cops.
All he did was raise his voice
what
at her.
Like a daughter who stayed out late and crashed the car.
Yeah.
But other times you see, Soko will straight up just kill people for nothing. But to her when she does that, he's just like, "What do you do? How could you do this? Come on!
What the fuck? Man?
You killed 6 people. What are you doing? Come on!" Just like
silly Jinx.
Well, right, but
it's daughters, huh? they kill 6 cops.
Sisters, huh? No, but it's just he gives special care. I'm curious if it's because at the end of part 1, he's just like, oh, you've been hurt, you've been
he says
I have.
What he says to her specifically is, "We'll show them all." Which, what if that'll come back? Who knows? But that's the line he says to her at the end of that part 1. He says to her, "Don't worry, Jinx, we'll show them all."
Yeah, but it's just because I forgot that they have a bit of common ground, being betrayed by someone in their life.
By a sibling, yeah.
Yeah, by a sibling, yes.
Ben, earlier you said something about Silco manipulating Jinx into being part of the crew. What indicated that? Because my impression was that Powder was just in a really terrible mental state and then just kind of latched onto Silco as just the nearest the nearest figure that didn't abandon her, and then kind of attached to her as a result.
Well, the thing about manipulation is it doesn't have to be he's mind controlling her or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's just what he did was rather than any other thing that could have happened, he could have been he could have done many other things. What he chose to do was hey. She's had a hard life. She was probably one of the ones that worked for Vander. He could have taken her and put her in a position that's not crime or anything. No, he took her and made her into one of his right hand, pretty much left hand actually, I would say, because what's her name? Yeah, Selvika is pretty much the right hand. Pretty much made Jinx the left hand of his organization, because letting her continue making himself much the crime lord that he is.
Okay.
How is that not manipulation at all?
I mean, by that logic, he's manipulating literally everybody that he employs.
Yeah, and he's a villain. That's what they do. Matt can tell you that too.
I would say that's a read on it, but like I said, I think she just had these tendencies, and he just happened to be something she moved. But he does use her insanity and her skill, her physical skills, to extend the organization. And I think she's much more of an enforcer for him than a literal term enforcer, bodyguard, or muscle than Sevika or Big Guy are, because she's the most deadly person in the whole fucking underground right now. And he put her into his organization. He's using her for the muscle and the protection of his fucking drug trafficking and everything like that. So he's still putting her in a dangerous position and using her abilities for the most part.
Okay, yeah. So I'll give you that. He's definitely using Powder to his benefits. Manipulation is not the word I would personally use, but I can understand that.
Knowing Matt's campaigns, that is quite literally manipulation. It may not be the major one in Matt's campaigns when he literally has all of his characters trying to manipulate everyone.
And it works every time.
It's a minor form of manipulation. Just because he knows that there's something wrong with the child. But rather than helping that, I was gonna say, Chris, pretty much I do
kind of want to shelve that's counter to my point that she's in control, and your point that he did use some manipulation on her. There's going to be a scene coming up where it's revealed that Jinx, they point out several times, she's so smart, she's a great inventor, But she is also, like I said, when she knew that Sokka was going to kill her, she is also a bit of a manipulator. She is wiser than you think she is, given her mental status of what's going on and what's being done to her and what people are saying and what they're trying to do to her. She's not an easily manipulated person, because there's 2 scenes, one with Sevika, one with Sokka, where like people are trying to get one over on her and she's just like, oh yeah, sure, she's actually 100% in control. But we can go over that when we get to the next couple of episodes.
Right, yeah.
Because yeah, you make a good point, Chris, to my point, that I do want to cover when we get to those scenes, because like, yeah, she is not stupid. She's very unstable and very reactive and very unpredictable, but like she's more like the Joker, I'd say, than Harley Quinn. She's actually in control of everything that's happening, and she's not stupid. And it's like you're surprised whenever it happens. You're like, oh, I thought this person was just like a goofy, crazy, manic pixie girl who's just a little like bombs. It's like, no, she's a fucking insane super criminal actually too. But I do want to keep going, because we are like, there's a lot to cover, because every single scene is filled with so much context and so much plot and so much character development, that I do want to like a little bit more before we can spoil what's going to happen.
No, that's
but yeah, keep that in mind, Chris, because we're going to get to that.
But yeah, well, then let's just move right on to part 2, episode 5. Everybody wants to be my enemy, because they have to make sure Imagine Dragons is known to be doing some of the music here.
Yeah, also I was going to say, before we started the series, did you guys watch the music video for Enemy?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked you my question.
It's just contextually. It was like that was a teaser released like a couple of weeks or months before the show aired. Mm-hmm. Just showing like, this is the art style, this is the context. It's about Jinx, and here's her mental state of like how insane and violent she's gonna get. But,
yeah, well, it's
and then
funny
you see her as a little kid, like, oh, so his kid's gonna be like that fucking super person, kill like a whole room full of cops like in that video.
Yeah, because it was funny because you told me.
Oh, watch it before part 2?
Watch it. Yeah, well, in between 1 and 2, because I was already part way through part 2 when you had told me about that music video.
Oh yeah.
So you're like, this goes. You should watch this between 1 and 2. It doesn't like it's not like a connector between the two.
Yeah, if you didn't know the Jinx character, like a lot of people who picked up the series didn't, and you just saw like Powder in part 1, and then a week later she's a fucking super criminal. You're like, what the heck? It's a good transition. Yeah, it's a good transition of like her like mental state and everything.
It's really well done too.
Also, it shows a little bit of her relationship with Echo, which we don't really get too much of in the show until part 3.
All right. Well, in part 1, you just know that Echo is
a friend of theirs. Yeah. But you actually can see, like, oh,
she's
her
little
and
man.
Yeah, little
man.
But we actually see that, oh, they actually know each other and actually are like friends for the most part.
Yeah,
they have really cute scenes in the music video too. But all right, yeah, Anime, like part 2, episode 5.
Yep, everyone wants to be my enemy. We actually start.
Oh, also, I forgot to say, I never skipped the intro. I've seen this series from beginning to end probably 3 or 4 times. I've never once skipped the intro.
Nah, I
love it to death.
I do like I do with every show. Unless they're doing something special with the intro, I watch it once. Okay, yeah, and then I skip it.
But you should definitely watch it because it shows like everyone as adult. It shows Caitlyn with her like full outfit and firing, and it shows the Firelight leader and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of stuff you don't get.
Yeah, I'll have to actually rewatch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we start off in the past.
Yeah, a flashback of Caitlyn showing off her crazy shooting skills.
And as she's running,
and a very beautiful winter shot, like a really cool looking melting forest in the winter.
Foggy winter kind of thing.
Yeah, very beautiful forest.
She's not alone either, because it's like she's having a shooting contest with Grayson.
Yeah,
and that's how you know it's the past, because you saw Grayson's alive.
Yeah.
And, they're just, like, because to see who's, like, faster at doing these
with
things.
A super famous voice actor whose name I can't pronounce. But she came up yesterday, just the cut out of context. Me and Ed watched the Percy Jackson movies for Movie Garbage. Check out that episode soon. The voice actress, her name's like Sohore, something really complicated Iranian last name I can't pronounce. But she's a huge actress. She's in like Mass Effect and stuff like that, like I said before. But also Renfield, the new Nicolas Cage Dracula movie.
We still have yet to watch.
She is in that movie, and she's an incredible, cool crime boss. But also she does voice the Oracle in the Percy Jackson movies we just watched yesterday. And also now she's Grayson in these part 1 and 2 of this show.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
A very prolific actor and actress. She's an actor in live action stuff and voice actor and a lot of cool stuff too. She's great.
But
so yeah, we see a shooting contest. We see Caitlyn's taking out every single target in one shot, never missing.
Right, and Grayson's doing well too. But on the last target, you see both of them lined up at the exact same time, and just Caitlyn notices.
Or Caitlyn fires and says, "Yeah, I got it," and then looks over and see that Grayson was already aiming at the shot and didn't take it.
Yeah. And then, so, later that day...
We see the celebration. She has her trophy.
Everyone's like, Mom's just like, oh, my daughter is very good. Where's my daughter?
Yeah.
And she's just sitting out, like, kind of hunched over, angry. And you can see, like, a trophy.
Yeah, she got a trophy
and
because of neglecting it.
Caitlyn just gets up and goes straight to Grayson and is like,
why'd you let me win?
Yeah. My parents paid you to let me win, didn't they? You withheld your shot. Like, Caitlyn knew that, Grayson could have taken the shot but didn't. And Grayson's like, you got it fair and square. He's like, that's not answering my question.
Yeah.
No, your parents didn't pay me. And, yes, everything, like, you right there doing all that was legit. I am an enforcer. I have to make sure that, I protect people when I pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And that's trophy enough for me. Which begs the question, Caitlyn, young Kiraman. What do you pull the trigger for? And I'm like, oh, typical mentor shit.
Yeah, that's what she wants to be. That it also is a nice little window into why she would want to be an enforcer, despite having such a privileged life she could have had. She's like, oh, yeah, I did want to shoot for something actually.
Yeah, it actually makes her think because she looks out and you see Piltover.
Also, little shipping when she says, "What are you shooting for?" and it cuts to her talking to Vi, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
and of course, Caitlyn's like.
She's interrogating Vi as to say, like, who are you? What are you doing here?
Why'd you beat up that inmate? And Vi's just being Vi.
Yeah, why not?
I'm being snarky because
why
I don't believe in the enforcers.
She's kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, why are you in here? What did you beat him up for? She's not giving her any answers. Well,
and of course, Caitlyn's just like, you know what? Fine, I'm out. And then Vi's just like, yeah, give Silco a little kiss for me. It's just like, Caitlyn's like, hold on.
Silco, the industrialist?
Like the industrial? Yeah.
What's he have to do with any of this? And she's saying, whatever, just like, we'll send whoever you're going to do to try to beat me up. And then she's like, wait, you get beaten up in here? And
she also, hold on a second. Is that before or after?
No, she says, she's talking to her. She goes back and then comes back later. But, no, she first is talking to her.
That's right, because after it says, just send whoever comes in to beat me up. It's just like, do you know anything about this?
She steps past a little, don't go past this line thing and steps up to the gate saying, hey, do you know what's actually going on here?
And, shows the pictures, do you know anything about this? And Vi sees the little painting.
The monkey painting.
And just, wham, on the bars, just how do you know about this? And she's like, my questions first.
Yep, and she says, well, you get me out of here and I can show you. And then she's like, I'm not going to get you out of here. Are you crazy? You're a criminal. And she says, "Fine, then whatever. Good luck finding what's going on with that."
Yeah, go find them on your own. Fine, I will. And then you see Caitlyn stop and think away from Vi's cell, and it's just like, "Hey, I have orders to release this. I have orders for this prisoner."
From Councilman, Jason, I forget Jason's last name, but from the Councilman, Jason, the Councilman.
Yeah.
And then she said,
when is he a councilman?
Yeah,
since when is he a councilman? Since today? Huh. I like before that, he's just like, he's like, what? Oh, she gave you trouble? Do we need to have conversations with her?
Yeah, it takes out a beating stick.
Yeah, right. Beating stick. And she's like, no. This is for her release. How many times do you have conversations? I never really thought to count. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. And she does use the pass, she goes back and she gets her released.
And just like, ugh. And then we cut to
the funeral scene.
I kind of skipped through that episode a bit quickly. So Caitlyn went to get release Vi. So it was a trade of information about Powder versus what Vi knows about Silco?
No, Vi knows what's going on with Silco and whoever the bomber is that Caitlyn's still trying to find. We know is Jinx. And she's saying she won't help her unless she gets her out. And obviously she knows a lot, so Caitlyn's like, I'm going to trust you, even though I shouldn't because you're a criminal, but fine, I'll let you out so you can give me more information. And find out who's actually behind it, because she obviously knows something.
Who's behind the bombing, or the bombing of the Shimmer ship, and also the fire.
And the corruption and everything else that's going on, because she's starting to get inklings.
Yeah, it's literally. Vi was like, "Hey, you want my help? Get me out of here. Then I'll help you."
Right, but what help was what was Vi going to offer? Just information.
Information on Silco, the industrialist, who Caitlyn had no idea was even involved, which he alluded to, and also she seems to be very adamantly knows who the bomber who killed 6 of her co-officers is. So she's like, Vi knows who is behind all this possibly, and knows who's bombing these people. She's definitely going to be a huge asset. So I'm going to help her get out, and she's going to help me.
Okay, so then Caitlyn as the enforcer and the police,
the cop, she's there.
Is
CI.
just like asking questions to try and take down illegal stuff.
She's her CI, her criminal informant, presumably.
Sorry, Caitlyn.
Oh, also
the former.
Also,
enforcer.
we forgot to mention that another reason she would even bother trusting her is because there's no record of why Vi is there or who Vi is. And that's also incredibly suspicious.
Yeah.
So she presumes she probably was also sent here by whatever part of corruption is let all these weird, this illegal shimmer being trafficked in Piltover, and whoever's behind all this stuff, whoever the bomber is, it's all connected. And this is one of the reasons that I love Caitlyn, because she's doing the most actual, real police work, but also she is, find out later, spoiler alert, but she's like one of the only, like, dubiously moral characters in this entire series. She never is in the wrong. She's never making a bad call or a selfish call or anything particularly. But everyone else is like, oh, they're on the fence or they're a little gray. They make bad and good decisions.
Or
she's always on the right side, trying to do the right thing, trying to do good. And she's like the only character in this whole show that does that the entire time.
Right? Yeah.
Always hovering between lawful neutral and lawful good.
Yeah, she's and everyone else is just between all kinds of selfish.
Everyone's just nebulous, power and status. And
yeah.
Caitlyn's
a little bit of selfishness, a little bit of short-sightedness, but she's always just trying to do her best according to what she can do, and she's and she put two together. This person's not supposed to be in this prison. The prison is corrupt. Whoever's trafficking this stuff is corrupt. Soko's involved. Who's this bomber? Who's also involved? And this girl seems to know, so I'm gonna get her out. And so she,
this girl knows information, or can take me to someone who knows more information.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we cut to Marcus.
Yeah,
the sheriff.
A funeral for the 6 officers who died.
And he just gives a speech.
Yep.
And there's a little redheaded girl, which we find out is his daughter. Which there's no name drop, but her name's Ren.
Yeah, he says that these people were were daughters and mothers and fathers, all the people who died, and just showing what the hell's going on. He's really pissed.
Yeah, and then as they're walking, as Marcus and his daughter are just walking through, he goes back by a mausoleum kind of headstone, and the little girl's like, "Who is that, Daddy?" And you see it's Grayson's burial monument. Thank you. Monument.
Yeah.
Great, it was her grave.
She was a hero, really.
Yeah, he's she was a good woman.
Yeah.
And then we cut literally back to Soko's office.
Yeah, we see Marcus kind of I have 6 officers dead. What the hell's going on? You need whoever did this needs to take responsibility. I know it was Jinx. And then he's just hey, shut up. We got you to be the sheriff. He has one of his one of those twin bodyguards shove some money in his chest, saying, "Here, that's for the families."
Well, yeah, that's for the families. And by the way,
is concerned citizen.
Yeah, right. But Marcus was also dude, with all this happening, I don't know how well I can get people off your case. And Soko's just well, I mean, why not the Firelights?
Yeah,
we all have them in common as a common enemy, right? Just pin it on them.
Yeah, they did it. Who cares?
Then we go to one of the facilities for the hex gates, where Jace is just going through the hex gate logs, all these transactions and everything, all of these manifests and all this,
all these undocumented illegal transportation. What the hell?
And Marcus is sitting there Victor's there just not paying attention.
He's who gives a shit about that? We're trying to do science. Who cares about this politics crap? We need to be inventing right now, dude. And he's just
and Jace is dude, I'm a
counselor now. I can't just be an inventor.
And then, of course, Marcus
comes up and he says, "Hey, we think that the fire." We hear in the background him going over he's they're Jace is all these suspicious transactions. What's going on? They've all been approved by your officers. And he's in the background. He's "Yeah, we're looking into it. We think the Firelights might be behind it." Kind of fades off into the background as we look
at. As that's literally fading, Victor's looking into the light of all this hex tech stuff, and he kind of gets mesmerized.
Before that, he does cough up some blood onto the railing. Well, and then he looks into the railing and gets kind of dazed out and whoa.
Yeah, and of course, as that daze is going on, after he coughs up some blood, it was just you just hear, "Victor, you okay?" He's "Yeah, I just
I'm fine.
I just need to get back. I just need to get back to the lab, and there's blood all over the fucking railing."
Oh yeah.
And it's just we're going back to the lab. Yeah. Then we have
back to the lab again.
We messed up. Back to the lab again. Oh no. Damn, good reference.
Oh, God. Freaking love Dexter.
And then, of course, we go back to Jinx.
Yep, she's working on the Hex Crystal, trying to figure out how it works, and she's like looking through all the notes, saying boring, boring, looking through all of Jason Victor's research on Hex.
Right here. It has to do with all these rune things, and then it would be all magic-y and energy-like thing. And then she activates her device, and the kaboom of the Hex Tech gemstone, thank you, it's called a gemstone, just literally causes her to remember the clapping monkey that she created to blew up everyone.
And we see her kind of just completely regress into her like young form, saying, "No, it's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong.
It was an accident.
It was a mistake."
Yeah.
And she just runs off.
Yeah, flashing back to when everyone died, and she just kind of like flees. She's just kind of upset. It kind of zooms out on her, completely fleeing from the device in tears and being upset.
And then, we cut to Vi just, like, standing like, yay, I'm free.
Yeah,
and then Caitlyn's like, hey, we could go this...
we can take this this trolley down to the ship, and then we can go looking through here.
And Vi's just like, yeah, too risky. And then does her fucking badass thing that she has to do.
He puts her
where
up in
she's
Assassin's
like,
Creed through the city.
Parkour!
Yeah, parkour!
And of course, I love scenes like this because Vi is like, yeah, look at me, I'm amazing, I can parkour. And you have Caitlyn like, can I do this? Parkour.
Like a lot of really beautiful shots of her jumping in front of giant murals and all the industrialness of the Undercity and all kinds of really cool shots.
Oh, did anybody else notice that? Like, so at the very top before they went down there, like there was like an old man like about to get on the rail, and then by the time Caitlyn got down, he was already there.
Yes, I love that so much.
That's so funny.
And of course, Vi like doing her parkour and everything goes down, and you just see like two scums just like. Yeah, hey, no, hold on. And Vi just looks at the guy's jacket, he's like, nice jacket.
Yeah.
And then the guy like looks like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then like Chris said,
yeah,
old man at the very top finally makes it to the bottom, old man passes her. And then of course she gets tossed the jacket and it's just like, hey.
You need to blend in if you're gonna be in the Undercity.
Hey, you wanna blend in? Come on, oh no, it doesn't say that.
She does start calling her now.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Cupcake. My name's not Cupcake. And then of course we go back to the lab again, where Victor is actually theorizing about the Hex Tech, and Jace is getting ready, like looking in the mirror, like.
Yeah, they're actually going. He actually finally goes over like magic users and all kinds of the abilities of people like that. It's not one thing that they can do. They can do a lot of different things by manipulating the actual magical energy, and so the Hex Tech potentially could do a lot more than it's seeming to be able to do at this time.
Right. Yeah, I think he actually uses functions.
They were trying to like channel the energy itself into specific functions rather than just letting the energy flow and having the caster be able to channel the energy in various ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And of course, there's this device now that's covered in interchangeable runes. Yeah, and he even mentions like, hey, I was, when I was staring off into like the thing when you were talking to Marcus, I could hear something in my head saying, "Do this." Yep. And you were just like, "Whoa," just what? He's just like, "What? I'm sorry." Are you? I think the interchangeable rune thing is actually referred by Victor as the hex core.
Yep, the core, and it's a weird little device, a little Rubik's Cube looking diamond thing. And he says, "Is this thing safe?" And he's like, "No, of course it's not."
Do you know? Is it safe? Is it not going to blow up? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, who cares? And that's just the point of experimenting. That's the fun of like learning stuff.
And then we cut back to Vi and Caitlyn
just eating a bunch of weird
at fucking Jericho's.
Jericho's another Vistaya, a huge giant
at fucking Jericho's. It's just like
who's also someone from he was in a music video first introduced.
I think they made mention or
they mentioned
part
it before.
As well.
But
they're at old Jericho's little stand.
What is that term again? Vestai? Is that
Vistaya is the term for like any of the animal-like people.
So it's like a catch-all term for like non.
It's a catch-all. Yeah, it's a catch-all term for people. They do have like animalistic features like the fish-like ones. You saw there's like dog or goat-like ones. There's tons and tons of different varieties.
Heimerdinger one?
No, Yordles are like...
Oh, he's a Yordle.
Yeah, okay. They're two different types of things. But yeah, like there's huge amounts of them. There are some that one of the most famous people in League, Ari's, like she has a cat girl. She has just ears and like a bunch of like 9 tails, like multiple tails, and she's a Vestai, but she looks otherwise completely human. Other people are like completely monkey-like or like completely like dog-like or whatever, and like all those different animalistic features, that whole race is just called Vistaya.
It's literally
from like Jericho to like the later the Firelight dude who just like looks furry like a wolf dude. Like they're just all Vistaya. That's what they're called.
Him doing that description right now, Chris.
Yeah.
The only thing I could get was that one bit when Game Grumps were playing a Link Between Worlds the first time. Yeah, I'm just all these names. Verschnigi and Burgunder went over here with Sarhasarala. That's me. That's all I could glean from that. It's like Matt is like, this. I'm just like wanting to lean over the Chris and be like, oh, this bitch is crazy.
Yeah, if you ever see someone with the vaguely animal-like features, they're a Vistaya.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
So not human.
It's not like a specific race. It's just like a general.
They say like, oh, they're like a fox Vistaya, or they're like a fish or underwater Vistaya, or whatever. But like, yeah, they're just.
Isn't that kind of racist?
Yeah, probably.
Well, anyway. Thank you. Well, like, to those who don't know, that is very good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably only took like a quarter of what you said, but
it's fine. All you need to know is there's animal people in League.
But either way,
like I said, all the furry bait characters. That's what they're for.
we see Caitlyn just like being disgusted because of eyes, just like eating
slurping down weird tentacles,
fucking like worm tentacles. He's like, oh, Jericho, I'm missing so much. Jericho speaks in weird like what was it?
This is probably some unknown language he's speaking.
Yeah, it's like speaks in fish, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, hey, you want some, Caitlyn? Caitlyn's
she
like,
pulls out with a weird
no.
weird tentacles. She's like, no.
You're missing her out.
Hey, you're missing out. Oh, I didn't free you so that you could. Like, why are we even here? You should interrogate him. No, we're here because I'm fucking hungry. Yeah. Have you ever had prison food?
And this is when she first starts like doubting, like, why did I even release you? You're like no help at all. And then like she's completely second guessing her decision to let her out of prison. And then she kind of like ready to leave, and Jericho slips her thing saying that, oh, this is where Ahsoka and everybody are.
Yeah, literally slips a napkin, picks it up. Vi just like looks like, yeah.
Nope,
that was actually information. I assumed it was like a bill or something.
No. It was that was the point of the whole thing. Like was just a trick Caitlyn into not understanding her. But like, yeah, go to the last drop. That's where this shit's going down at. Mm-hmm. And so she finally has a real actual lead.
Yep. And then we cut to Jace and Mel at a theater.
Yeah.
At a theater with a weird guy playing a violin.
Oh yeah,
trumpet,
and this character may or may not be a fucking super assassin lead character who's like known for playing a violin and doing concerts in this specific hall. So because that might be like an actual other character, but who knows? But the play they're watching is a bunch of like crazy ships in an Arctic area. This is a play about the Freljord, which is, of course, very north country. Of course, yeah, I'm going off again. It's another country in the League world where like, old gods, crazy snow monsters, various Viking people characters
so it's
and
Norse.
stuff like that. Yeah, Norse stuff.
So it's League of Legends Norse mythology.
Yeah, some sick ass dragons, some sick ass old gods, cool ass Vikings. That's where all those characters are from.
Okay.
And this has been League of Legends history with Matt Lewis.
Yeah, if you want to learn more, play the upcoming Nunu and Willump game, a cute little Ori and the Blind Forest like game following two characters in the Freljord.
Or don't.
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, anyway, more to the point.
But yeah, the
Jace and Mel are watching this.
Yeah.
And Mel,
he's talking to her like, what all this crazy corruption, and she's like, hey, Jace, you're putting a target on your back by fucking up this hex tech and fucking up all this police corruption. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to fix the city. And just like, well, like, you see, like, this person over there, she's not getting her transports and her money. And you see those two councilmen who are, like, always pretend to hate each other. Well, they do love their wine together. And they're, like, they need all these foreign illegal imports. And they need corruption to happen so people can, function and society can go on. And also, you need research money for your stuff. So don't fuck up everybody's
don't fuck things up. And then we actually cut before, because there's another scene here later, where we see Jinx. And Jinx is actually going to the little hangout spot at the last drop.
This was another early release scene before the show came out. This scene specifically of her going to the old arcade they used to play as children, and her going to that punch machine that Vi was working on. Like this whole sequence. Also, the birds and everything like that might be another character reference, but that's unrelated. She goes in, she sees everything's all abandoned, she's having flashbacks to when they were kids and they were playing around in this area. and she actually activates the punch machine with like the weird giant like shell thing and turns everything on and sees the old scoreboard with like Vi at number 1 and number 2 and number 3, and then like Clagor and then everybody else after that.
And then like she like puts the face of Milo on the thing and turns on everything, and then remembering everything that happened.
Yeah.
And
really,
she starts
really cool animated sequence of her using the punching machine.
Really using the punching machine, beating the shit out of it. And after all that happens, she looks up at the scoreboard because apparently it can take your score.
Yeah.
And you see that she finally made second place.
Yeah, just after the top Vi.
Just after Vi.
And she just pulls out a gun and fucking shoots the thing, saying like, yeah, I love that to be like a little like power scaling thing of like, yeah, physically she's just under Vi, but she still has her fucking weapons. So that's why she's actually dangerous.
Yeah. And speaking of Vi, we see Vi and Caitlyn for a very brief moment, like on high, looking at the last drop, and Caitlyn's like, ugh, this place looks nasty.
It looks like his body's buried in the basement, and she's very upset, like, you don't know anything, shut up.
Yeah, dude, shut, like, actually, like, in serious growth, it's just like, you don't fucking know anything, man. Then we go back to the theater, where, still talking about this whole corruption thing and everything.
Yeah, how everyone wants their stuff to go through and they need their transports and you need money, so let this corruption continue, Jace.
And then,
showing that Mel may not be on the level to viewers and everything. Like, hey, Mel's not doing great. She's kind of doing bad stuff too.
And then, speaking of which, we see Lady Amara appear, and they're just Mel and Amara are just chit chatting a little bit, and Mel is selling hey, Jace here.
Amara's saying like, hey, someone stopped my transports and I can't get my income, and what's going on with that? She kind of like glares at Jace because of that. And then Mel's saying, well, actually, Jace was looking for some research money, and he's wondering maybe you could get your stuff transported again if you open up your trade routes, and if you donate, you can get your stuff back going.
And so he actually did like do something with the gates, or just like the shutting down.
Yeah, he was shutting down all the gates and everything because he wanted to keep everyone protected.
And also, like he talked to Marcus about, he saw all the corruption and all the illegal transports and everything like that happening, and he was saying, wait, we gotta stop all this if I can figure out what's going on. And so he had like stopped Hexgate travel like he intended to, and was going through everyone's records and seeing all these illegal transactions, and that was fucking up everyone's business and saying like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah.
And so now Mel's convincing him to let that bad stuff happen so that he can get research help for the
the conversation was like, hey, you gotta turn them back on, man.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
Yeah.
In like that highfalutin, political way. Oh, it would be so nice, kind of thing.
Also, politicians speak.
Yeah. And also, like, the whole metaphor of the violinist going off and Mel, playing Jace, and him going through all the politicians, playing all the councilmen and all the other people that they've met before, including Bulbach and the other one with like that weird gear around her neck and all those people, making deals with them, showing that Jace is getting corrupted by this position.
Yeah, but also he's falling into the rabbit hole of politics, and he actually goes along very well. Yeah. And even Mel's just like, wow, I'm impressed with you.
Yeah, everyone, but also this whole time Heimerdinger just sitting there enjoying the play, not being talked to at all because he's not getting manipulated.
No, but because Heimerdinger is also one of those not nebulous people.
Yeah.
Where he's actually really good too.
Well, he has. Well, we'll have issues with Heimerdinger later, but
yeah, you're jumping the gun here.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and, all of that happens, and of course Mel's like, good.
Yeah,
good. Let the politicalness flow through you. And then we go back to Vi and Caitlyn in a brothel.
Yeah, now this is one of the other scenes that set the internet on fire, of course, just because. We'll get there when we get there. Vi and Caitlyn are going through the brothel that they know is someone who has information. It's that.
And of course, Caitlyn's like, what are we doing? Vi's like, hey, Caitlyn, you're going to be working here, right? This is how you get there. Wait. Sorry? Beg pardon? Dude, look. The problem with you is you think everyone just needs to give you everything you want. Look. You want information, you gotta act like you have what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's that? Literally eyes her. Dude, you're hot, cupcake.
Yeah, exactly. And then like does the whole hand against the wall thing and says, so it's gonna be men or women for you. And then she's
man or woman. Hey you. Hi. My name's Pim.
Yeah, random background guy.
Hi, I'm Matilda, but you can call her anything you want. And you see her, like, Caitlyn's, like, kind of, like...
I'm Matilda, and my name, blah, blah, blah. And then she kind of goes into a character while Vi slips off and ditches her with Pym, which is a very funny
Wait,
scene.
hang on. Vi was one that just said, my name's Matilda, you can call her what you want.
Yeah, and then Caitlin's like, yeah, I'm Matilda.
Oh, yeah, I'm also Matilda.
But yeah. And then,
she has a very funny Cockney accent. My name's Matilda. I'm named after my grandmother, who was Matilda. I didn't hear her in the background saying that.
And of course,
also, I forgot to mention, Caitlyn's voice actor. You may know her as Cho Chang from the Harry Potter movies.
Really?
Yeah. Cho Chang's actress plays Caitlyn.
Oh,
damn.
neat.
Nice.
Yeah.
But then, of course, after that, after
and
that
also
whole thing,
Haley Steinfeld plays Vi from Emily Dickinson, from the Bumblebee movie, from Hawkeye. She plays Kate Bishop. She's a huge actress. Well, I forget you guys don't watch normal TV. So,
yes, you're right. We do not go on the Disney Plus.
Yeah, never ever.
unless you want to watch Bluey. Fucking fantastic show, by the way.
Oh yeah, awesome show.
But anyway, well, I don't have to learn how to be a better parent.
Yeah.
But as that's happening, as Caitlyn's like, oh yes, I'm yes. Vi starts walking further back, and we see the owner of the brothel.
Yeah, another Yordle named.
Another Yordle, only it's Babette. And
Yep.
well,
she's like, oh, what are you doing here?
yeah, well, he's just like, wow, well, I'll be damned. Cut to Marcus and visiting Silco again.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Jace is a councilman. He's asking too many questions.
And also, he's fucking up Hextech travel, as we've seen in the previous scene. So we need to do something about him. And Marcus is just saying, "What? I gave you all the proof you need." He's saying, "No, I need somebody to blame so we can open up the Hex gates and stop all this bullshit."
Puts one of Jinx's bombs on and says, "It's the firelights."
Yeah, we found this on the
isn't it?"
firelights. Give this to him. What? And then he's kind of like, "This has gone too far." And he's like, "Well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be a hero?"
And you see, after that's said, Marcus literally pulls the pin and explodes, and then it all turns dark, and he's like, "What you gonna do?"
Yeah, are you gonna
and
do
then it
this?
just
What are you waiting
clicks
for?
back to Marcus.
Actual reality.
Yeah, actual reality, not what Marcus wants to
do.
do. And Marcus just leaves quietly, and you just see Soko just head in his hand, just
Could you imagine what would happen if Marcus actually just fucking kamikazed right then and there?
Yeah, you know what would happen? You know what would happen? Oh, what are you doing? Thinking of being a hero? Martyring yourself for the good of everyone? Click, boom, credits roll. But no, it's just he's faltering. Even Silco knows, dude, this corrupted cop I'm working with, what the fuck is with this guy?
Yeah, and then we see that Jinx is actually in the rafters. She comes down and she says, "Well, don't worry, our Hextech." She's kind of still. He asks her, "How's the Hextech weapon or the tech or research going?" And then she's kind of like, "I can't. I'm just having a block. I'm too upset about fucking everything going on."
Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, I literally remember that day because of this. I can't really." And he's just like, "Fear haunts us all, child."
Yeah, and she says, "Don't worry. They're going to do something to try to help her."
And then we go back to Babette and Vi, where Babette's just like, "We thought you were dead."
Yeah, no one's been able to stop Silco from taking over after Vander.
And look, I mean, Vander's dead, and I'm sorry for that, but things have changed down here.
Yeah,
Silco's in charge now.
Yeah, she says, "Hey, do you know what happened to Powder?" And she's just like, no.
Oh.
Nobody knows what happened to Powder.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, I know Savika's a regular.
Yeah, so
we can try to get information
she's
from
his
her.
right hand. She should know what's going on with him.
And
so
she's like, "Dude,
thanks.
I owe you one." And Babette's just sad.
Actually, she's just like, "Oh, don't
It was
worry,
nothing. It
it's-
was nothing. Well, it was more of a she's very sad of everything that happens, and it's just first off, in this show, like in every other show, when people want information, they prove once again, don't fucking diss on brothels. Yes, it's a den of iniquity, but it's also good for fucking information.
Yeah, and good for fucking.
I already covered that. Come on, the fucking time.
Anyway,
man. Vi starts walking through, and you just see.
Oh, not yet. It goes to.
No. It actually happens here.
Does she actually show up?
Yeah, she walks past, and she hears Caitlyn and a female patron.
Oh yeah.
And she just looks over, and Caitlyn and this girl are just
they're hitting it
time.
off, and then she kind of was like, "Oh, that's nice."
Whatever. And then just walks.
Yep, she leaves. Having her answer about what's up with Caitlyn.
Mel and Jace.
Yeah,
We go back to Mel and Jace.
She's saying, wow, you did such a good job manipulating all those people. You're really moving up in the world. And
she's like, yeah, you're doing a good job. He's like, well, I had a good teacher.
Yeah, you guys are going to do a lot for Hex Tech. And then they start making out. And this is when they cut. This is when we cut to the actual music video scene between a bunch of different stuff happening.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit happening.
We see... Well, it starts with Vi going through the city, and we see Imagine Dragons in universe playing a song. Just fun.
They actually look really fucking badass.
Yeah. We also see Victor beginning to mess with the hex core and actually trying to manipulate it and figure out how the runes actually work on it.
And don't worry, Mel and Jace, they just fucking.
Yeah, they fucking.
They just fucking. And then you see like all of this is happening. Does it also show anyone else, or is it just these three?
No, it's cutting between these three, and also I guess it's showing Savika doing her card game in the middle.
Oh right, and Vi's getting ready to be like, I'm about to whoop somebody's ass.
Yeah.
Well, she's at least looking, and doesn't it also cut to other people as well?
Not until it's kind of cutting between them, and the song kind of is cutting in and out. But it does cut near the end of Victor being zapped by the hex core.
Yeah, but legit just being zapped and knocked out.
I also think he's still coughing up blood and passing out.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, Vi still staring intently at Selvika, and Mel and Jace doing what Mel and Jace do.
Yeah. But some of the blood that he coughs up as he passes out from his illness does get absorbed by the hex core.
But then, after all of that...
But we cut to Silco and Jinx at the weird pool or whatever. They know what the lake was called before. They mentioned it.
I forget what it is. But it's just
there, and he's going over the story, and this is when one of the instances where we see that Jinx is on the up and up and is smarter than you think, because she's saying yeah, you told me your brother betrayed you, and you can't rely on family, and blah 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 blah. So she knows the spiel of the attempt at manipulating her, saying hey, we're the same, we're not so different, you and I also was betrayed by my brother. She's just whatever, blowing that off because she doesn't care.
And then he goes, but something happened.
Yeah.
And this is when Jinx is like, what?
No.
This is new. It's yeah, not only did that happen, but that's when a weak man died.
Yep.
and someone else was reborn that day. You wanna overcome this thing you're going through?
Yeah.
Then you need to be strong, and you need to let Powder go. And so he tries to strangely baptize her by trying to almost drown her?
Yeah.
But betrayal can either break you or forge you into something greater.
Yeah.
Yep. Powder needs to die and be stronger, and Jinx is perfect.
Yeah. That'll come back. And this is when we come back to the music video scene, wrapping up with Savika playing cards and a fucking tiger knee out of nowhere to the face by Vi.
Is that what that's called, the tiger knee?
Well, I know that's Sagat from Street Fighter's moves called tiger knee whenever he does that. That's what in the
next you're
whenever
gonna
I see that move, that's what I call it.
Next you're gonna tell me, with the way it looks all rainy and stormy out there, next you're gonna tell me that you beheld Satan and he fell from heaven like lightning.
I don't even get that reference.
That's M. Bison from that same fucking movie.
Movie? No. What the hell? I'm not talking about the fucking movie. You fucking
Look, you said Sagat.
Yeah.
You said Sagat. I went straight to the fucking movie. If I wasn't
using my phone, my laptop, and my microphone, and this motherfucker, when I bring up Street Fighter, his mind goes to the movie, I would throw all three of these things at him. What the hell is wrong with you?
Answer me something, Matt. Hey, answer me something, Matt.
Yeah.
Legit, before we get back into this. Answer me something. Where the fuck's that movie garbage?
Oh, God.
Where the fuck is the Street Fighter movie and the Mortal Kombat movies?
I would sooner... I want to do the new one because I like it, but I would fucking sooner do Legend of Chun-Li, the fucking shitty aughts one, than fucking that 80s piece of shit.
So, what you're saying is his next recording session for movie garbage is going to be the Street Fighter movie.
No, the
cool.
Mortal Kombat.
Matt just confirmed it, everyone. Chris was here too.
I'm a Mortal Kombat man. I'd rather do Mortal Kombat.
Anyway, but
Don't count me as a witness, please.
I already did. Too bad.
Part of the podcast is welcome.
See this? Wait, you are here. You have been witness to this, and you're just sitting here covering your ears la la la. I can't hear you.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
speaking
So
of-
I'm not a witness.
Speaking of fighting games, though, we're about to have a fucking sick-ass fight game
Oh my
sequence.
god, yes we are, because like the man said, we get fucking Tiger Knee to Selvika's face. The other two that Selvika was gambling are just like, shit, gathers all the money and fucking
Yeah,
bails. And of course Selvika's like, what the fuck?
Hey, what the hell are
You're
you doing
supposed to
alive?
be dead. And then they have beautiful we have talked about the animation style of this show a lot. This scene right here is just one of the many reasons why this animation style is amazing. This fight sequence,
It's insane.
beautifully animated.
And amazing camera angles of like people getting fucking thrown through tables and hitting the walls. It's so much good cuts. It's fucking amazing.
And as that fight is going on, Selvika gets serious and takes off her like shawl or whatever,
Yeah.
revealing that she has a metallic arm that feeds her fucking shimmer.
Yeah. It runs
So
off Shimmer
that
and she
arm,
feeds
that
off
arm
her.
that she got disintegrated is back and stronger than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Injecting her with shimmer and making her not like Vander Beast mode, but it is affecting her strength.
Yeah,
a
she's
lot.
definitely stronger than normal because she's, but still unmodified. Vi is still fucking holding her own and actively beating her ass. It's a fucking insanely cool fight.
Then we cut to we cut back to
The fight continues. I think it goes to the end of the fight.
there's a lot of fight going on because at some point we cut to like Mel waking up and Jace isn't there because Jace goes to because we find out that Jace is sitting next to Victor, who's in a hospital bed.
Oh yeah, we do see that he goes to comfort him as he is sick with the hex tech stuff, or he's sick with the whatever illnesses, and he does find out that he is dying, and that's why he's such a rush to do. All
Yeah,
this.
I like it because Jace is like, so they were trying to explain this thing, and Victor's like, dude, I get it, I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of time left, and that's why this inventing is so important to him, and he doesn't want to waste time with like the politics shit that Jace is currently doing and investing in. And this is when finally, come back to the finishing of the fight, which is fucking sick as hell.
Yeah, and it does perfectly the back and forth between who's stronger, who's not. But in the end, Vi actually has Selvika pinned down, and she's like, "Where's my sister?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? Silco has her. You're lying. Why should I?"
Yeah, and she gets distracted, and like Sevika's claw-like hand on the end of her arm does stab Vi in the stomach, and then she kind of leans up to her and says like she's like his daughter.
Yep, and then fucking leave. Well, is about to leave her like that because you
She
like
falls-
the
she
Vi
falls
like
back.
close and just like walks up and just is ready to like do the final blow, and then she gets shot in the arm.
The arm gets blasted, and then
3 times.
Yeah, like directly, just the arm gets shot 3 different times by. Zoom into the background, we see Caitlyn with a cool fold-up gun thing.
Yeah, with her awesome sniper rifle.
Yeah, her cool ass rifle.
And Selvika books it.
Limps off into the alley, and
then
Caitlyn jumps down and comforts Vi, saying, "Hey, why'd you ditch me?"
Yeah, Vi's just like, you were having such a good time. Besides, I could have handled it clearly. Wow, you're a good shot. You're a good shot. I'm an exceptional shot. Thank you. Thanks, Cupcake. Look, I have a name. It's Caitlyn. But you're so sweet, like a cupcake. I'm like,
She's like, "Shut up."
I'm like, we get it. You're gay.
Oh, they're so adorable. But yeah,
they really are cute together.
Yeah,
though.
but she limps off, and this is when
We cut to Jinx.
Yeah, she carries Vi off. And yeah, we see Jinx continuing to mess with her hex tech stuff as she's finally figured it out. She has like her goggles on, and she's like a pencil in her mouth, and she's kind of like experimenting.
Mm-hmm. And then we actually like see a machine that's kind of like when Jace first was doing this whole thing.
actually
We see a
noticing it
machine
properly.
kind of like that, and she actually does it. She types into it, and she's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, finally got it. And this is the final scene. It cuts to back with Sevika limping to Silco's office and saying, you're getting your fucking shimmer all over the floor. What are you doing?" And she's just like, it's her sister. She's alive. It's her sister. And her sister's back. And then
And Silco just turns
like, "What?"
from the dead.
Yeah.
Like, dude. And that's where the episode ends.
That is the end of the episode 5.
That right there, that moment when Silco's just like, that realization, like, what the fuck? Even I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, guys, this has got real.
It's about to get real. And I fucking loved that ending. And that is where the episode ends.
Oh, I already said that.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying that's wrapping that up. But in between discussion things, Caitlyn and Vi in the
God
actual...
damn, they're adorable.
Yeah, but I was going to say, in the actual, like, canon of the game and everything, it's very nebulous if they've been in a relationship. Fans have been shipping them for, like, a decade plus now because they're, like, two enforcer officers that work together for so long, and they do have, like, a vaguely flirtatious relationship. But this show, like, does a very much, like, oh, yeah, it's very... They're, like, explicitly... They're, like, hitting on each other from, like, day one, practically.
I mean, technically, this is an AU, isn't it?
No, we've already went over this. This is, like, MCU to Marvel Comics.
So it's AU, got it.
But, like, it's such a fun thing because it's actually more explicit about the relationship and, like, what their potential could be in a relationship. And from this, after this series aired and, like, the popularity of it, they do get more explicit in the actual games of how they are. But it's such a fun, cool representation of these two. And they're such fun characters. Seeing Vi now back, kicking ass... Fucking,
taking names.
Yeah, all tatted up and fucking boss as hell. It's fucking... She's an amazing, fun character to watch.
Yep, and I love these characters so much. Even some of the side characters. Man.
Everyone, yeah, I like even from everyone from fucking Sevika and Soko, I love too. They're all so interesting and like cool.
They really are, and see, that's the one thing about this show that I love the most is they do their characters well. Even like not just like the nameless side characters, but like the side characters who aren't like the main focus. They give them a lot. Like hell, as much as I diss on him because I fucking hate him with a passion, even Marcus is done well.
Yeah, he's a lot of dimensions to him. The little scene where he like wants to be a hero but can't because he's a wimp. It's
fucking Babette, the brothel owner.
Yeah,
she
cool
did not
hell.
have much. She didn't have much dialogue, but she really had a different dimension about her.
Yeah.
It's sure you could have been like, oh, she's like the brothel owner who is just knows all the information because all her girls. And probably guys.
Well, no, there's a guy because we do see. I forgot where they're cutting through the scene. We do see a very specific male sex worker
the Gimp
there.
outfit.
No, not the Yordle in the Gimp outfit. The other one. We do see a guy in a mask. A really quick shot of a male sex worker who we're going to see in part 3 pop up again. But he is in this scene with another client. With
I thought you were talking about the Gimp. I'm like,
that
Yordle in a Gimp outfit.
But Ben was also in a Yordle too, which is very funny.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like all of the side characters, main characters, and everything have so many different sides to them, and they do such. They do such.
The
a
writing
good job
on this
with
show
characters.
is immaculately wonderful.
It really is.
Also,
I don't know who did the writing for this show.
There's a couple of different writers.
Yeah, but all of them did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Also, I love this episode did expound on Caitlyn's backstory, why she wants to be an enforcer, and once again, more of her just being a fucking super awesome ass fucking. Lawful neutral, lawful good ass character in the show full of like corrupted people is so fucking fascinating.
The only person who's actually good and
She's
does not
so
get
awesome.
corrupted at all.
She's fucking dope. I love her to death. That's why she's my favorite. But yeah, what do you think of Vi's return and everything like that?
Dude, I mean, when it comes to Vi's return, the way they did it, everything that happened to her parkouring, to just the way she did everything.
Eating the slop tentacles.
on the one hand. It's Vi.
Yeah.
Of course that's how she's going to be introduced. But at the same time, yeah, it's going to, but it's just done so beautifully. And that, like, climactic fight with Zelvika and Vi, and, I mean, obviously, she has to lose. Yeah, like, in the storytelling, she has to lose that fight.
Yeah.
But
even though she could have won, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she could have if she didn't, but,
Get distracted by her sister, yeah.
Yeah, being told that her sister's, like, with the one man you fucking hate.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vander told you to, so, whatever. But yeah, it's just, they did everything well with this, and this episode right here proves it, especially, as beautiful as it is to see the decline of a character, of a person who's supposed to be a paragon, a hero, and then one tiny little thing had to be said.
Yeah.
And, like, he had to be told a few things, and then he declined down that political path. Yes, I'm talking about Jace, for those of you who couldn't catch it.
Yeah, Jace's arc is also very fascinating. One of this character who wants to do nothing but good, getting slowly corrupted by the system is so fun.
Hey, what a coincidence. His best friend, who's like his brother, is getting corrupted by the system, too.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Wait, oh my god. Victor is a League of Legends version of Chris.
What?
The man who always is at a computer every fucking day.
I thought this was just some random way to like rope me into a conversation because I haven't said anything for a while.
Yeah, what do you think, Chris?
Did it work?
I mean, I guess I'm talking.
But
So,
yeah.
whose story arc did you like between Caitlyn, Vi, Jace, and Victor in this arc? What did you think?
Hell, you can even go with Mel. You can go with Mel if
Yeah,
you want.
Mel,
She's
anybody
technically
else.
a main character.
No, not Mel. Like, she's definitely entering like protagonist territory, but yeah,
Not yet.
Yeah, keep saying your thing.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but like okay, it sucks to see like Jace go from like inventor to politician, and it's cool to see like Victor still like remaining in his roots like that. So I can definitely appreciate that. Also, I don't want him to die.
Dude, you and me both. Like the first time I saw him like get like the blood coughing and anything, I'm like, don't you fucking dare say that you're gonna die. Don't you fucking do this.
He's
to
one
me.
of the few. Like,
I get it. I like the character. That does not mean he has to die.
Yeah, he's
Like as a software developer myself, like it's awesome to like see him in his inventive creative state. Like I like that. Like it lights up all the right parts of my brain.
Well, yeah, he's a fun character. He's also another, very good character who's just like wants to do this inventing for the pursuit of knowledge itself, and he's just so invested in it. And you also feel bad for him because he is like a very whatever the issue is that we find out later. I think you mentioned it later. Something to do with growing up in the Undercity and the result of the comic.
I don't know why, because it's called the Undercity.
Yeah.
I almost said Underdark.
The Underdark. Oh god.
Yes, he's secretly a drow. That's why he never goes out in the sun.
Yeah,
Actually,
just,
which is going to be disproved immediately when we start the next episode.
But, but yeah, it's such a fascinating arc for him. And like, when you think about Vi and Caitlyn escaping prison and trying to do an investigation, running around the Undercity.
Honestly, okay, so. I guess Vi had to get reintroduced in some way, and this was a decent enough way to get her character some more screen time. So, yeah, like her and Caitlyn, you got like preppy, well mannered by the book person versus in the lanes ne'er do well.
Yeah. Very fun buddy cop they have going on.
It's like good cop, bad cop. Actually, it is just a good cop, bad cop.
Oh yeah, that's
you could probably honestly you could probably make a sitcom out of those two.
Well, yeah.
No, don't say that. Riot will have the idea now.
Hey, I guess that's pretty much their dynamic in the actual all the the music videos and games that they appear in. They are just like a couple of cops, one by the book, one fucking. But that's also a spoiler for where Vi's gonna end up. But yeah, it's just. Oh, it's so fucking good. They're so fun to watch. They're such a fun dynamic. Yeah. Everyone's such a fun dynamic in this show.
But also, as somebody who struggles with a fear of abandonment, I can't help but feel for Jinx, even despite all the shit she's gone through, and and also like have a slight hatred for Vi because of that.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah.
Preach. I am with you on that one, man.
Yeah. But the relationship of we can't talk about it too much in this part, but yeah, the actual dynamic when they actually get to talk to each other and find out what happened and how their feelings about each other. It's so interesting and so, like, again, well written according to the show. But, like, oh, God, it's so fucking well done. It's ridiculous. But, yeah, you do feel bad. Even if this episode that Jinx is, like, a slightly more downplayed character in terms of everyone else getting more development, she still has her whole thing with Silco is also very fascinating because she's still struggling, like in our favorite fucking movie, fucking Rise of Skywalker and the first part of the sequel trilogy. Kylo Ren, in the dark, struggling with the light. She's, like, still her crazy, super destructive self, but she is struggling because of what happened in the past, and that's just kind of on the fence. And then Silco's just like, no, let me just like finish and tip you over the edge to be slightly more dark side.
Let me dip you into the edge.
Yeah,
literally baptizing her in drown.
Yeah,
inside of what appears to be like swamp water.
Something like that.
It's like the runoffy, like whatever the hell that area is called.
Yeah.
It's scummy.
That when he was like had a cut on his face, give him a horrible infection that made him lose his eye, apparently.
Yeah. But I mean, it just goes to show you, like, things are looking up and everything like that. But sometimes things just come crumbling down. Like in our next episode, the final episode of Part 2, episode 6. When these walls come tumbling down. Very good. You didn't even get. Oh, did you actually?
Yeah, I wrote down the episode.
Oh, okay. Look, I only knew you were taking notes. I didn't know you actually were writing the episode names.
Well, hell yeah, Chris, you can start the episode while I run to the bathroom.
Okay. I mean, sure, I guess I can.
Well, typical Matt, taking the piss in the middle of a recording.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll. It's actually it might be better if Ben does that because like I'll be honest, the notes that I took were made kind of like basically skimming the episode, like watching it at like 1.5 speed.
I mean that's fair enough. Well, we start off with just kids jumping in a pool, and you can definitely tell it's the past because one of those kids who could be jumping in the pool is not because it's Victor playing with a toy boat.
Oh, and then that like little girl comes in and is like looking at you like a hey, hi there, how you doing?
Yeah, Sky actually, which I think if I remember correctly, Sky is the lady, the secretary lady that's always following Jace, who in the last episode we forgot to mention when Victor was working on the thing was like trying to hit on him. You're like, hey, you want to?
Oh, that's who she was.
I think it is.
I assumed it was just like some random girl who thought Victor was cute when he was like 10 years old or something.
No. Sky, she's the secretary lady with Jace, right?
I'm back. Yes, yeah. This took me like on my second or third watching like a summary video. On my own time, that is Sky, the assistant when they were kids.
Yeah,
that was her
really?
In that flashback. Yeah,
crazy to think about, isn't it?
I mean, I guess that does make a little bit more sense as to like why she's like hitting on him as an adult.
Yeah, why she's interested in him and actually knows about him because
I guess I'd have to like look at the character models to like see the connection, but okay, yeah,
fair enough. Yeah,
it's also like she's like a little kid and doesn't have her glasses or anything like that, but it is her. Yeah,
right. Okay, cool.
And of course she's just looking at him like, oh hey, you're kind of cute in like that 10-year-old way.
Yeah. But
and then she goes back.
Handy capableness.
Yep.
He's kind of
gee, what an asshole you are.
What? I was trying to figure out the way to say it, but yeah, he does have physical disabilities.
We already knew that in part one.
Of course, but even as a child, we see that he did need his crutch. It wasn't as bad as it is now as an adult, but he did need it at the time.
Oh, he does, yeah. Even as a kid, he's needed it.
Yeah.
God damn, that's rough.
And we actually see, he gets his boat working and it goes paddle, 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 and he's following it like,
he's trying the best he can with his crutch.
Well, yeah, with his crutch. But then you see it goes into, like,
he can't too fast for him. He can't
keep up because his bad leg. Yeah. But then he sees a cave.
Yeah.
And you always know, I mean, when you're that age, you see a cave. What are you going to do? You're going to explore it. Yeah. And that's exactly what Victor does. But when he comes in, he sees this weird axolotl looking thing. I think it's called a
wave rider.
Wave rider?
Yeah. They're common to Bilgewater, which is another continent in the Lara League.
Yep.
That's where the pirates are. But anyway, a big giant axolotl or like
axolotl looking thing.
Salamander looking crazy, really cool.
It's like a combination of the two, and it like looks at Victor like, I'm scary. And you hear someone like, oh, hey, don't be frightened. He's just hungry. And you see...
Or she is, I think, right?
You see a
Rio, is she?
Singed.
No, I'm saying Rio is a she, I believe.
Oh, Shio. Yeah, you're talking about Rio. Rio de Janeiro.
No, yeah.
Shion.
Rio by the... Shion. Wait, who?
What are you talking about?
She doesn't exist. Anyway, but Rio is just like, hey, don't worry. She's just hungry. And then you see a young Singed.
Yeah.
Is that his name, Singed?
Singed is, yes, that is.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. It's literally spelled either Singed or Singed.
It's Singed, and he is the doctor that we saw working with Silco in part 1.
Yep, in part 1, and then he got exploded.
Yeah. And we do see that he says that she is a rare mutation that he is cultivating, but she is also dying. And we see that she, like, the weird purple flowers, which is vaguely the same color as Shimmer, coincidentally enough.
He just hands a flower to Victor, like, go on. And Victor feeds Rio one of these, and,
like 3 times come out and grab it, and he's just like, ew,
this is gross, but kind of cute.
Yeah, and then, she is dying, but the mutation does need to survive. And
so the mutation needs to survive.
Yeah, and this is also hinting at Singed might be the influence of him becoming a scientist in his future, like how the last part.
And with that, young Victor, child Victor is like, hey, you think I can help? And Singed is like, do you want to help? It's like, yeah, I do. Cool, come with me.
Yeah. And this is when they kind of go off, and this cuts back to the future.
Well, the present.
No, yeah, the present. Yeah, you're right.
And
Victor
then,
on like one of those little outledges from Piltover that looks over the Undercity.
Just sitting there looking, and all of a sudden you see Heimerdinger. This is like, hey.
My condolences on your on the diagnosis.
Yeah, he does like the, I'm sorry about your prognosis, I heard about it, everything. And he talks about how he remembered meeting this brilliant child, from the Undercity that, he wanted to see go further. And, Victor's,
yeah, he got him into the academy from the Undercity because he was so smart and capable.
Yeah.
And he says that he's so sorry, and he says that he thinks that his inventions will be short-lived because he's not going to be able to live for a long time.
And everyone's going to forget, even you, Heimerdinger. And Heimerdinger's like, yeah, it's true. There were a lot of students that came and went. And what I've learned is that the ones who shine the brightest are usually the first ones to burn up quickly.
Yeah, which is not very helpful, Heimerdinger.
Yeah, right. It's like, I get it, you're trying to be,
God, yeah.
but you're not doing well.
Yep, and this is when we see Mel painting in her giant apartments.
She is painting, apparently, a picture of the
immortal bastion of Noxus!
Take it away, Matt.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to go off yet.
No. Take it away, Matt.
Oh, okay. Well, we see her painting on her own time, and Jace comes in. He's very upset about what's happening with Victor, and all he wants to do is help, and Mel's just like, why are you telling me this? And he's just like, well, I feel like I can tell you anything. And, I want to help him with the research and everything like that, but I don't know if I can. And he's had this, it's when we finally find out, he's had this illness since childhood, something to do with how polluted Zone is.
I just love the fact that Jace confides in her and everything like that after quite literally a one-night stand.
Yeah, they've known each other for years now. But, and she says this, hey, I know what it's like to not be up to the standards of family, and you should go help him. If you want to be with him, be with him. He needs help right now. But you also just says, you can't really change fate, but you can help him during this difficult time for him.
And, of course, as that, we go back to Victor, who's trying to he's pondering the orb. He's pondering the cube.
Yeah, and does he notice that something's different about it after it absorbed a bit of his blood just yet?
Yeah, no, this is that part.
Okay.
Because he looks as what's going on? Then he notices that, there's he notices, he's like, wait a minute, I remember. It took some of my blood, it did something. So he goes to touch, which is, you always do. You always do that. And it reacts super violently, and it causes him to just go unconscious again.
Yeah, it zaps him, so it kind of sparks a little bit of his body with a little bit of the weird little bit of a...
There we go, the Jinx.
Yeah, it's a very funny scene.
What was the bartender's name that she calls him?
She calls him Chuck.
Chuck, that's what it is. Yeah, you just see this bartender just sitting there.
Cleaning a glass, looks out the door and sees the door swinging and goes, that's weird. Goes back to cleaning and then, hey, Chuck. And it's like,
hey, Chuck. Well, Jinx, Jinx, my name's Theorem, yeah. Theorem. Yeah, you don't have to play on me, Chuck.
Yeah, so what's going on?
Yeah, what's the hap? And he starts pouring her a drink.
Actually, it's the same mug that Vander poured her when she was a small child.
Right,
the exact same cup. He pulls out, slides it to her, as her all of her little drawings and stuff on it still from years ago.
And he's because it's Jinx.
Yeah, and he's just like,
hey, so what's the scuttlebutt? Because
these two girls did a number on Sevika, and she's like, really? Sevika got her ass kicked? That's hilarious, Chuck. And then she's like, she goes speak with them about it. And
don't worry, I'll go and talk to people about it. Thanks, Chuck. For your trouble.
He's being kind of coy with the information. She's kind of like, something's up with you. Whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, hits him, and he's just like, what? And then you see one of her chopper grenades on his back.
He's like, oh, and it explodes into fucking pink
small paint thing, yeah.
I was joking around with Chris when he saw that scene. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a going thing. Jinx is going to come in one day, and his shirt's just going to be all pink. He's just going to be like, oh, the usual today?
Like Jinx just runs out of the bar, and they're just like, damn it, Jinx, it's the second time this week!
4th time this month, come on!
That's the 5th time, Jinx, come on!
Dude, I keep having to get these clothes cleaned!
After the 6th time, it's like, dry cleaning is not cheap,
But we go back to Caitlyn and Vi because,
Yeah, they are going towards the, what is it, the Narrows, or what do they call that?
I think it's...
They're heading towards the darker part of the Undercity, still escaping the thing while Vi has her huge giant wound in her stomach from Sevika's claws. And they see a giant scaffolding on a cliffside. And he kind of like, okay, we gotta kind of be careful. And she's like, no time for that. She kind of just like flops down and like knocks into a bunch of the bars.
We got this, plop.
Yeah, it just falls into a bunch of painful-looking bars.
But in the distance, as they're doing this, we actually see a looming figure.
Yeah, the Firelight Leader continues to spy on them, but there's gonna be and we just see a bunch of his henchmen or whatever like flying around and just like spying on them, but keeping an eye on Vi and Caitlyn.
Right. Then we go back to Sevica. And
she's kind of like, "Hey, Silco, so we're gonna figure out what's going on with the girl." And
no, she goes and says, "Hey, we lost her."
Yeah.
And then from the James Bond villain chair that Silco has, turns around and you see Jinx. Like,
lost who?
Lost who? What's going on here? And, Sevica's not having this. So she, goes up, trips a tripwire, gas comes out, and Jinx just puts on a gas mask.
Yeah, again, showing how, ridiculously clever she is, and she's, kind of reaching for her, and she's kind of like, hey, goes, little fingers at her.
And this is, and then just wait, you get, the fadey, when you're coming back into consciousness kind of thing, and you just see Sevica's just, sitting in the chair, tied up and everything,
again,
can't move or anything, and it's just Jinx is just smack, wake up.
Yeah,
it's so.
She's really got that Joker energy, doesn't she?
Oh yeah,
she really
100%.
does.
She's
like
I said, she's intense.
She just really just slaps her away. She's like, "Hey, come on!"
Like, tell me what's going on before I have to torture you. And she's just saying, "No need. It's your sister. She's back in the city." And she just starts freaking out.
And she says, "You're lying."
Yeah, she says, "It's not what you think. She's not here for you. She's with some enforcer." And and she's saying, "You're making shit up." And she sees her start kind of losing it. And she's like, "Yeah, she doesn't care about you."
Starts crying, and Sevica's just got that smirk. I know.
Yeah, sneezes at her, and just
what the
kicks
fuck?
her chair back, just oh, nice, oh, you almost got me.
10 out of 10. Beautiful
wow,
performance.
Such a good job. This is one of those scenes I was talking about. But yeah, she says, well, I'm gonna send a message to Silco, and I think he's gonna use her to send a message. And, all
he knows is she's like, 10 out of 10. I think I know how I'm gonna send the message. Just spins the chair
evilly,
again.
and it fades out of that scene, just showing how ridiculously awesome and manipulative Jinx herself is.
We cut back to Marcus getting home from work. He's just
looking for his daughter.
Hey, Ren, where are you? And just goes to her room and she's playing.
Yeah.
Then he opens the door a little more and sees Silco is playing with her. I think the exact way I told Chris when we were rewatching this episode, I said, and that is the moment Marcus shit pant.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
also, another little dumb Easter egg for League people. The book that the one creepy wall-eyed henchman is reading through has pictures of this little yordle called Timo in it, and that's been he's been appearing in video games in the background or wallpaper and pictures. He's just a little yordle that runs around the Undercity collecting mushrooms and making giant mushroom poison bombs. But he's a cute little mythical figure in the background of the world, and he's just reading a book about Timo, just being a little creepy weirdo. And it's a very funny shot. Yeah.
It just looks dead eye at Marcus, and then just licks his finger and turns the page.
Yeah.
It's not even just the normal turn your brain. It's just licks his entire finger, slaps it dead center of the page. Me, a bookworm, just sitting here a fucking kill you, man. And of course,
Silco is playing cards with Ren, building a little card
they're
tower.
making a little house of cards, and Silco's hey, your daughter and I were just having some fun. Yep. And Marcus is what's going on? Yeah,
and he's saying, so this girl who I thought was supposed to be dead is running around with an enforcer in my city, fucking shit up and beating up my henchmen. What's going on?
First off, he actually describes the girl. Wait a minute. First off, we have her locked up. And yet she's out with an enforcer.
No, not locked up. He said that she...
No, we have her in a safe place.
First he says, I thought she was dead. She's like, well, she's in a safe place. And he's like, oh, she's in the city, you idiot.
In the city with an enforcer. Wait, that can't be.
Yeah.
And then because he actually pieces together that it's Caitlyn.
Yeah. He's like, oh, Kierman, that's her again, isn't it?
Kierman, so, what are we gonna do about this?
Yeah.
I'll fix this right away. See? Accidents happen. Looks at the little girl, gets the final piece, and just literally destroys the entire tower. Oops, sorry. See, accidents happen.
Yeah, and they kind of just menacingly.
And I'm just sitting here and there's a third person there?
There's one on the chair, the
Yeah.
dark-haired one with like the side bang cut.
Very emo looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very,
never,
yeah.
She's like always been in the background, like repeated, just like the other one.
But yeah, I just figured maybe mention that.
But yeah, she's there too.
But yeah, Silco, using his powers of fucking intimidation.
Yeah, just completely walks out of the scene saying, "Fix this shit, Marcus." And then we see Victor using the hex core now that has a little bit more energy as a result of his blood.
And using it, trying to grow a plant, using it on literal organic matter.
Yeah, he's saying this when it reacts to organic matter, it's kind of expanding really quickly, and we see the plant like blossom hugely around the hex core, but then suddenly...
Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Before that happens, Jace is like, wow, this is amazing. We could use it on plants, animals, we could even use it on people. We could even... And then the plant literally just like shrivels completely. Mm-hmm. And he's just like,
He can even cure you.
Yeah,
pretty much. Curing Victor? Never mind then.
Yeah.
But it's just like, Victor's like, yeah, see, every single time, this is what happens, and I don't know why. And he starts coughing again. He's like, I'm running out of time, dude. And Jace is like, hey, I'm gonna go to Heimerdinger with this.
I think does he mention at this point that he's also going to go to someone he knows that might be able to help?
Oh yeah, he's like, I think I know someone who can help. He's like, cool, you do whatever you can. I'm gonna go to Heimerdinger with this. Yeah. And then we go back to Caitlyn and Vi.
Yeah, they're at the weird underground area.
Like an encampment of vagrants and stuff like that.
We see them kind of like she puts her up against in a small house, which we find out is actually her house from childhood. And she recovers from being fainted out, and Caitlyn's trying to patch her up and brush the blood off of her, and she's kind of like, yeah, get away from me. You and forces are all the same. You don't really care about us. And she's like, hey, why? What happened to your sister? And she's like, I don't know yet. I left her and I abandoned her technically, and I don't know how to get back to her. And she said, what, your parents run around? And she's saying, no, they were killed by enforcers. So it's like,
oh, there's that drop.
Yeah.
And then of course,
Caitlyn continues saying she needs help, but then she kind of steps outside of the house for a second, and she runs into that weird little guy from the first part that Vander helped with the deal. And he's kind of all weird and mutated out.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Not yet. We go back to Victor and Jace talking to Heimerdinger.
Oh, I was going to say also,
about the core.
In that scene, Easter egg for part 3, there is a picture of a giant slug monster and a crab monster painted on the wall in the house. That's going to be referenced later in part 3 for a scene that they talk about.
Then we go to Victor and Jace, who are like, hey, Heimerdinger, look, this is the hex core. And it has various functions and everything. They describe what goes on. And Heimerdinger's just like, okay. Then they do the whole plant thing.
Yeah.
And then Heimerdinger apparently goes in the random PTSD mode.
Yeah, he flashes back to the Rune Wars and knows that this is potentially void magic. 2 concepts that are very important to League history, but I won't go into because... Well, for fans who know, they know, and it's awesome.
Well, I was going to say, nothing was said about void magic or anything, but he did say it goes against the ethos.
The ethos is, you mentioned that last season with, when they first mentioned Hextech to them, and we're going to use technology to use magic. The ethos of Piltover was to escape the warmongering of mages and escape magic in general.
Yep.
And that's why Heimerdinger originally was against doing this in the first place, because he knows when the city was first founded 200 years ago that was when the Rune Wars were happening, and that's why the point of this city is to not have magic users.
It's like it goes against the ethos, and Jace is like, no, and Jace and Victor both are like, this can help people now.
Yeah.
And of course Heimerdinger's like, look, I'm on the council. I can get rid of this one way or the other.
Yeah, you better destroy it or I'm going to destroy it.
Yeah, and of course, this is Jace is like, all right, fine. This is what's going to happen? Okay, fine.
Did earlier in the scene with Mel, did they talk about replacing Heimerdinger yet?
Not yet. Okay. No. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, all right, fine. This is how we're gonna do. All right, I gotta get ready. And Victor's like, wait,
ready for what?
And then we cut back to Vi losing consciousness, and then Caitlyn leaves the house now.
Yeah, and she runs into that little weirdo who in the first part was...
I think his name is Huck or something like that. I don't remember.
But yeah, he kind of comes out of the shadows. He's all fucked up and mutated from all the shimmer use. And she's just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, hey, I knew her father, and speaking of Vander. And she's saying, I want to help her, and I know somebody who can help.
I did not recognize that character at all.
Yeah, I know. I had to literally, I had to like find out from like a video synopsis, things like this. Like I from earlier, I was like, "What? Oh,
yeah, right."
I saw the glasses, and I thought, "Was this Milo?"
Right? But yeah, I literally like I had to look up.
Yeah,
his
in
name,
the first scene
with
with Vander was introduced. That guy was trying to do a deal with the 2 pirates from Bilgewater, and then like they tried to screw him over. Vander got the whole bar saying, "I'm the bartender, and I'm saying you better give him what he owes you." And that's that guy for the beginning.
Okay, see, I never made that connection either.
Yeah, I didn't make it till like literally a second or third.
Hence why he mentioned I
owe my life to
to her dad. It's like, okay, here. Caitlyn's like, Vi needs a doctor.
Yeah,
he's like, all right.
Well,
cool.
we have the best thing we have down here is this weird doctor freak weirdo who's like lives in this cage and is gonna help you.
Just like opens up window password.
Yeah.
I mean, opens up. Sorry. Opens up and it's just like ailment.
Yeah.
Ailment.
She's been stabbed.
Yeah, she's been stabbed. Closes thing. And I think that he mentions that she, as in the
female dog,
is known to making potions and stuff.
Yeah, she makes potions and then she comes back with a tiny little vial and then she says trade and then Kayla's kind of looking at the vial, looking at her and like and she kind of like moves forward and the girl like she like moves it back saying you're not gonna steal this from me and she says fine. She pulls her cool ass foldable sniper rifle gun,
unloads
it of course, yeah,
and then folds it up and just puts it in.
Very smart.
And like.
No, okay. she like before that she like has the vial. She then pulls out a tiny drop of shimmer, taps it in it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
To actually activate the potion, and then says, "Here you go," and then shuts down immediately. And
then, thank you for.
And then Caitlyn's like, "Oh, come with me, Huck," and then she like,
whoa,
she loves to see
no. You don't. I don't want to be seen like this. Just tell Vi, that I'm sorry for everything. Mm-hmm. And then Caitlyn just hugs him and leaves.
Yep, and this is when we cut back to the upper city. Marcus gives the grenade and says, "Hey, the Firelights are behind all this shit." And he's saying, "Well, why aren't you doing anything about them?" And he's saying, "Well, we are trying to, but we can't really control what goes on in the Undercity."
He's like, "Well, I mean, I forget who says what, but it's like
Marcus doesn't want to shut down the Undercity, but Jason's like, "Well, we'll just shut down all traffic to the Undercity, and we'll like cut off the bridge, and no one will be able to get down there."
And of course, Marcus is like, "Dude, did you just?" And Jason's like, "Dude, do it. I'm supposed to be thinking about security. Do it." Yeah. He's just like, okay.
Yeah, and also the ending we did miss the scene earlier where he talked to her about potentially getting rid of Heimerdinger because he's so old-fashioned. Because like in the next scene is the council scene, right?
Oh yeah, okay, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
earlier Mel kind of alluded to getting Heimerdinger off the thing because he's been there for so long and he's really holding back the research for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we have the council scene where
Heimerdinger's like,
we've lost our ways. We need to we're relying too much on this crazy magic hex tech, and we're all corrupted. And all the politicians are looking at each other like, "Ugh, we gotta shut this guy the fuck up."
and then Jason's like, "Excuse me, but this and this have happened. All of these shit has happened. You need to be responsible for this and this happening and stuff." It's like pretty much like they all start pointing, like Heimerdinger and Jay start pointing fingers at each other, like Spider-Man at the end of Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm. He kind of says like, "Okay, so we can't be. You're saying all this like what's wrong and what we should be waiting for. We humans don't have hundreds of years to wait around. We also don't have you're not doing anything around the other city. You're not helping. That's supposed to be your department. You're not doing anything to actually help the people down there, and you're completely out of touch." And I think it's time that you have a well-deserved retirement. And then they're like, "What?" And then,
and of course, Heimerdinger is like taken aback by this.
Yeah, how dare you? What the heck?
Like,
and then,
what? And it's like, right? Let's take a vote.
Yeah, and it has to be unanimous. And like everyone, you just look around at everyone, and everyone kind of looking at Jason like, "Oh, well, Jason's the dude who's getting my corruption going. So yeah, sure, I'll vote for it."
I'll vote. And then of course the last one is Jace to raise his hand.
Yeah.
And so Heimerdinger is getting Das Boot.
Forcibly retired, which is very unfortunate.
Back to Caitlyn.
Yeah.
She feeds the potion to the now barely alive Vi.
Yeah, and just kicks her right back to the crazy wake up like, "Oh goodness," and then they have a very tender scene of her being like, "Hey, you awake? You okay?" And she's like, "Okay, now we need to find who the hell this Jinx is." And she says, "Well, I think Caitlyn says that, and then Vi does say something to mention the Jinx too."
Well, right, because Jinx was the name that was dropped by Vi because of the fight that Vi had with Sevik.
Yeah.
Or Selvik or whatever.
And she starts trying to stand up, say, "We got to get back. We got to find out what's going on with this. We got to get out of here." And as they begin to walk outside, we do see that Vander and a bunch of random punks are waiting outside for them.
Who?
Vander. Ahsoka and a bunch of random punks.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah. Vander's alive! No.
Woo! He was never dead at all.
Yeah, no, she starts...
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey shit.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you just see...
This is when she starts realizing that this is Vi and Powder's house when they were children.
Yeah, Ahsoka literally being like fucking Jesus, like, here, my children, have this glowing purple goo.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, thank you, drug dealer.
Oh, no, this is the scene where she mentions that that this is their house and that they were killed by enforcers, I believe, possibly.
Something like that, maybe, I don't know.
I got out of order.
But either way, it's just like, and it's funny because it's just like, Vi is just like talking to Ahsoka, and Ahsoka's like, "Yes, I am evil." And Caitlyn like looks and sees the not very structurally sound tower, and she starts like, okay, as they're talking,
yeah, so she's trying to like push it over with her, the best she can. As Ahsoka gives these two addicts, and we still see that the guy Huck did betray them and tell Ahsoka where they were. He gives the weird henchmen the super shimmer, and they start growing giant like the guy in the first part. And they start actually, like, going towards the house.
And I love this scene because after that happens, Vi just is like, you talk too much. Literally turns around and just beats the shit out of the pole that Caitlyn's trying to hit. And the whole thing starts tumbling down. Before we continue that, however, it cuts to actually Jinx on top of a random tower I know it's called the Undercity, but what's it called? What do they call it?
Zon.
Zon. And has a flare.
Yeah.
From way back yonder.
Part 1, where when they first when she first told her not to follow her, she gave her the flare and said, if you ever need me, just light this up and then I'll be there. I'll meet you there.
And she does, and she just holds it up. But then meanwhile, we get like Vi and
also it's got to like a crazy music video sequence for this.
It really is.
The episode almost.
Vi and Caitlyn are escaping. Soko's like, no, beating the shit out of all of his henchmen. What the fuck?
We also see Marcus and a ton of the enforcers like barricading up the bridge and not letting anybody enter out of the Undercity.
Yep, and just like all of this is happening. And we actually also
it intercuts with another flashback to Victor going back to Singed.
And seeing that Singed is like now using a more refined form of shimmer.
No, not yet. It's a childhood, so it's you see you see Rio strapped up to all these tubes, like completely.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Because
he's like beginning to harness. Anymore. He's beginning to harness. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by a more refined. It wasn't just the plan.
He's not using shimmer. He's like extracting something like shimmer from.
That was extraction.
Yeah, that's how I read it because the way I read it was it's never explicitly because the show's so good at like visual storytelling and not really being explicit. Whatever the purple flowers that grow in the Undercity that he was feeding to Rio caused Rio to either exude or whatever shimmer, a certain form of shimmer or an early form or whatever is made from whatever the being Rio is, the mutation that Rio has. That's how I read it anyway.
Yeah, and of course he's like, "What have you done?" And Rio's
like completely like glass-eyed and like completely like barely breathing, but all these tubes are up to him. Like, oh, the mutation needs to survive.
Yeah, and Since is like, I thought you would understand. It needs to survive, and just Victor leaves, trampling over the flowers. Then it cuts back to present day. Where you just see,
even more fucked up Rio, like 10 years later, like in an actual
in a vat.
Yeah, in a
vat of green goo. Yeah, and you just like
more tubes hooked up to it.
Yep, and then Victor walks in. Is like I understand.
Also,
now.
This is when we finally see modern Singed, who's has partial burn on the face, but is also wearing like a face mask.
Yep.
But not for the reasons you think. You may think it's because of the explosion that Jinx did, but that is not the reason that he's fucked up.
So is this meant to imply that Rio is ultimately where shimmer comes from and how they produce it?
It's presumably where, because earlier on in the in part 1 when we first met Silco and Singed, and they like were first talking about the undersea creatures and how rare they are and like how they're cultivated. That was a scene they actually talked about that in that first scene. He mentions that that the Singes created something from these underwater beings that they have. He does, and then he injects that kid with shimmer, and that's when we first see the giant mutation of that. So it is alluded that is where shimmer comes from.
Oh.
Yep, and as all of this whole thing's happening, there's also a cut when Caitlyn and Vi are running.
Modern Singed does have his face like bandaged up and parts of his eye burned off from the
Wait. So today's Singed is Singed?
Yeah, singed. He's singed. But yeah, he has a face mask on. He's bald now. One of his eyes is weird and glowy green. And he is still doing experiments. He's still welcoming to Victor, saying, "Hey, welcome back, Victor. What are you doing?
Welcome home, Unkindled."
Yeah.
But then, like,
and
during
Victor
like
says,
this
"I understand now." And he's like, I get it now. I get what you were doing before with the mutation needs to survive and doing anything for science. I get it now, Singed."
Yep, and then, like, during all of these cuts and everything that's going on, you also see, like, Caitlyn and Vi running, and Vi actually sees the flare.
Yeah.
And then
also, we cut to Soko going to his office.
Like, how much trouble can one girl cause? And you see, there's like a dagger stuck on his desk. There's like lots of crude graffiti, and like one pointing up. And he looks up, and there's like a whole bunch of Jinx bombs strapped up. One of them just says "liar."
Yeah,
and then they all
Sevika's tied up there too.
Oh yeah, Sevika's.
Sevika's there too.
Sevika's there too, I guess. And they all just go boom.
They don't boom. They don't blow up.
I thought they do.
No. Well, no, she doesn't kill. No, that doesn't happen yet. No, they're both still perfectly fine. It's just he sees that she's calling him a liar. He talks to her later, so that they don't go boom. It's just set up like that.
Oh, I thought they did.
No. It's just spray painted and the thing saying liar and like saying, "Hey, what's going on?"
We head back to Jinx, where
that was a message for Soko saying that Soko was the liar.
Yeah.
Okay, as opposed to like calling Sevika the liar.
No. He's saying Soko's a liar,
yeah.
She was saying Soko's a liar.
Yeah.
And then finally, during that crazy music video sequence, we forgot to say that like the ghosts of Milo and Clagger are like spinning around when we do like the crazy camera spin around Jinx.
Yes.
Yeah, they're kind of there with her. Which is a very
seriously, it was actually really good.
Yeah, and then finally the flare burns out, and she kind of brings it down, like pissed off because she didn't come. But then up comes the stairs. Vi says, "Papa, what are you doing?" And it's like, ah.
And for a moment, Jinx or Powder, whichever one you want to call, all sad, like getting all huggy with her sister.
Yeah, she's an actual really fucked up sad thing where she says, "Are you real?" And it's just
are you real?
Yeah, and
yeah,
she's
I
just
am.
like, "Oh, what are you talking about? Of course I am." And she's just like really hugging, like, "I thought you were dead, and I was so lonely, and everything was so terrible since you left." And then she's like, "Yeah, they have a really sad and heartfelt reunion." And then Caitlyn comes up the stairs.
And Caitlyn fucked it up.
Yeah, whatever, Caitlyn.
just by standing there.
Well, just by running up, and she fucks it up.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
No,
she doesn't really.
Of course, Jinx pulls her gun out and says, "What the hell is she doing here?" And then Caitlyn's like, "Your sister is fucking Jinx. Like, what the hell?" And then she's like, "Oh," Vi's trying to like play both sides. She's like, "Okay, no, don't worry. She's just here to help me." And then Caitlyn, she's like, "No, you don't understand. She's my sister. Don't do anything crazy." It's just like completely fucked up scenario.
And of course, it doesn't work because you can't play both sides of the field.
Well, yeah, and Caitlyn really. Jinx is like, "I thought you really brought here just to fucking get me, and like I thought you were like really missed me, and you're like," she threatens to like shoot fucking Vi at that moment. And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm your sister. I love you." It's just an incredible.
Oh, you're trying to get the gemstone? What the fuck's the gemstone?
Yeah, she says, "I don't even know what the hell that thing is."
And then they all hear a strange noise, and then firelights.
Yeah, the firelights come, and it's a crazy fucking cool ass fight sequence. Like Vi is fighting one of the Vestaya, one's like tall Vestaya, and a weird monkey like one is fighting Jinx and getting shot the fuck up by her crazy giant Gatling gun.
Yep.
Her crazy pistols, a lot of really cool dodging and like just showing how agile and crazy competent she is. It's so fucking good.
It really is.
It's another amazing fight scene.
And then all of that's happening, Caitlyn's trying to get the hex gemstone, but it just
keeps getting knocked around by the
fight and everything. Vi is Vi is watching Jinx being like all violent and shit, and Vi's just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, so you like point blank shoot people in the head and just fucking crazy ass fighting. It's really, really fucking awesome.
And of course, as she's distracted with that, one of the firelights just like bops her in the back of the head and knocks her out.
Knocked out.
And of course, he was about to, the firelight was about to kill, and the leader's like, no, you're taking that one with us.
Yeah.
And then Jinx sees this happening, and is like, you ain't taking my sister. And of course, smoke bomb, gone, and then she's like fucking broken up again.
Yeah, another huge screaming, yelling, and crazy like editing cut, and that is the end of part 2.
That is the season, the
part
finale. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, it's not the season finale because technically we're still in season 1.
Yeah, and that is the end of the episode. Oof, what a fucking fun ass arc. And I love that. In terms of characters being all good, like you said, Heimerdinger. This is the first like actual ding against him. Is that they've been pointing out he is functionally an immortal. And as a Yordle, he doesn't have time the same way that they do, and he doesn't understand that they can't fucking wait around or wait for safeguards because like the world is moving past them, and it's not really convenient or helpful to like wait for all this shit like he always wants to. And so that's why them voting him out was really sad, but it was still like, well, he was fucking this shit up, but also he was trying to stop the corruption, which was a good thing.
But yeah, it's like it was a good and a bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was good because he knew where this was going, because he had the knowledge of all those years ago.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, we have to
move
forward somehow.
The city is of progress, not of like, looking at back at the past.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. You're trying to avoid a mishap, like a repeat or something, but we got to move forward somehow. We can't just say no to this.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole reason why, this time instead of Hummerdinger, just being like, oh, I don't like this, and then him, like, a few years later being like, this did good.
Yeah.
No, this time he's just, like, adamant on this cannot happen, to the point where Jace had to even betray him.
Yeah, it was really rough seeing more of Jace's corruption, but also he's kind of in the right that, like, they do need to use this tech, but also it is kind of bad. Also, the flashback of Victor's backstory and Singed is all this very fun.
Yep. And the reunion with the sisters was ruined.
It was so emotional.
By the firelights.
Yeah, but it was also such an intense, cool-ass scene. It was so sad, and like her not knowing if reality is real because she's so fucked up, and it's just like,
she just wanted to make sure that she just wanted to know her sister was real.
Yeah, so sad for this crazy mass murderer that is Jinx. To be so sad. But like it's such a fun reunion. Also the Undercity part, finding out their house and everything, and like Caitlyn taking care of Vine. It's such a fun, like on the run sequence for them. I did like this part. It's not as crazy part finale as the first part is or the final part is, but it was a nice little middle section.
Yeah, it ended exactly how a second part should of a 3-parter.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's kind of I don't know. I'm not comparing this to this media. Just using this as an example, Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one ended with like that huge battle with the Uruks and stuff, and then it like kind of mellowed out. But there was like you could actually see like fucking like more. The second one, you had Helm's Deep, but there was a long gap after Helm's Deep to the ending, and it's like it could wrap up, but it was not as good kind of thing. But it's just like in this one, it wrapped up just as it should. It wasn't super fucking like. But it wasn't like falling asleep. Yeah, it was falling asleep sounds.
It was. I liked it a lot but also I've heard the first part is like a fun little like Goonies adventure that has like a crazy ending. This second middle part is like a crime drama thriller kind of thing compared to the first season or for the first part. And like I like the dynamic of everyone trying to figure out everything. Like it's like a political crime drama in the middle part, and then the fucking final part is like a crazy ass fucking action fantasy thing that's going to turn into after this. But I like that. Yeah, the first part seemed so innocent and fucking got dark at the end. This middle part is all like dark intrigue and discovery and stuff like investigating. And I love that the difference between the different parts of this series.
Right.
Yeah, I liked. Also, I wanted to say fucking the Immortal Bastion of Noxus. Hell yeah, that was a massive reveal for like watchers of the show saying, "Oh shit, Mel's from Noxus." That's not good.
The moment I had to look that up, by the way, like because you first part you were talking like Noxus, yeah. I'm like I had to look that up, and then I like through context clues and through a little bit of research, I knew that that's what she was painting.
Yeah.
And then the moment I was trying to say that, you're just like, the Immortal Bastion of Noxus! Like, take it away. Like, no, I'm not going to rant yet. Yeah, you are.
No. We need to meet one more character from Noxus before I can actually go off to what the hell that place's deal is and why it is my favorite. The characters I like are from there, the fucking deck I have.
Why'd you have to bring that character up? Why'd you have to do that?
What character?
The one you're talking about.
Oh no, we'll get there when we get there. But but yeah, I like this part a lot. It's not as crazy as the first part, but I liked, like I said, introduced my favorite character in the whole series, Caitlyn. Of this part alone, who's your guys' favorite? That's if I could fucking not guess.
Are we gonna play the you can't choose like Jinx?
No. If she's your favorite character of this arc, go off. I went off of why I liked Caitlyn so much in this arc.
Well, yeah, for me, I'm going to put that rule on myself because literally through all of this series, Jinx is like, well, I already did when we did the
yeah, but there's a whole different reason this time though.
no. I'll actually hold back on that because it's gonna get better. I'm going to have to say it is a. Go to Chris on this one first. I need to actually think about this.
Okay, well, it's probably it's hard to pick between like Jinx and Victor because I empathize with both of them so much. I empathize with Victor's like inventive mind and having to deal with like his physical disability, and like Jinx and her mental instability, we'll say. Like they're both the show does such a great job of like making you care about both of them, and yeah, they're just. I don't really have much more deep things to say about that.
Well, yeah, I love the portrayal of them and the difficulties that they have. Yeah, and like I said, like I was saying, they're two sides of the same coin. They're both inventors who are both highly intelligent. We see that later when in the next part when they actually interact with Jinx's technology. Like, oh shit, this person knows what they're doing. It's so much fun seeing such an intelligent character. And also like the scene I mentioned with her pretending to be tricked by Sevika. Like, oh no, someone's trying to manipulate her because of her like mental state and her past, and she's just like, oh no, okay, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm fine. I can deal with that, and I can deal with the whole like backstory. We're not so different with from Silco. Like all that stuff completely just washes over her because she is a very smart person, despite her personality and her everything around her. Oh, yeah. She is also still a very very smart and wise person who knows what's going on.
She's able to just like be like 3 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
like just like Joker.
Yeah, that's like I said. She's way more Joker than Harley Quinn sometimes because she is just so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Fuck it, because I had 3 characters I really liked.
I was gonna say top 3 characters, but I didn't know if I say
honestly, for me, they're actually literally tied. Because yes, Jinx for obvious reasons, because they went even deeper into her psyche on this one, and the fact that it's like there's no real like only one main character, but even though like everyone knows like her like shtick and everything like that, she had a bad past, she kind of went crazy and stuff like that. They still make it fresh somehow. Like it doesn't get old. It doesn't feel old. My second favorite, like the second one tied for first is Victor. Oh yeah. Because that guy does so much for so little, and every time he makes like a breakthrough or something, that guy needs to have good luck. Sometime. Like, that guy needs something, and I like him too much, because he's actually very, very scientist. Like, he knows that there's risks in, like, researching this cube and stuff like that. He knows that he might fucking die. Yeah. And yet he will still do it because he still has that ambition. He wants to save people. So much that the man he was disgusted with in his childhood, he went back to. Yeah. It goes to show you what lengths that he's gonna go to save people. Unlike Jace. But the one who's tied for third, you're gonna be happy about this, is Caitlyn.
Of course, yeah.
Well, not only is she like, she's got that like that kind of sassy English like kind of humor to her, but she like you said, she's nebulous air quotes to like lawful to chaotic, like neutral good. But I think that's what we agreed on. No, it was neutral chaotic good.
No, she's
it was lawful. Yeah, it was
lawful neutral or lawful good. Yeah.
Yeah. It was lawful and neutral. But the fact remains is she's not nebulous to say good or neutral or good bad. No, she's just fucking good, like good aligned character. And she was. It took a while, but she was getting to know how things ran to the point where. It was like, oh no, foreshadowing? She was like, to the guy, but with the lady, she was just like, yeah, we're just, I'm like, good. She's loosening up a little bit, but not too much to lose her moral sense.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like Jace. But I like her character, and dude, Chris knows this. She has the strongest weapon in all of this game, in all this show. Gun. But speaking also about that, Borderlands, it has been my newest fixation. Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I play the Borderlands game, Chris knows and my brother knows, there's one thing I am very good at that I like doing. Staying in the back and picking them off one by one headshot. I am the fucking sniper of the crew. And it's not a sniper rifle with her.
It's a rifle, yeah, like a rifle.
But she literally acts the same because she's a very excellent marksman.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. How did she say it? It was excellent. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, she did say excellent. Yeah, she is an excellent shot. And honestly, I'm surprised that she didn't fuck up.
Sevika more?
Yes, Sevika's arm as much as she did.
Like destroy, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, she could have nicked a fucking, like, important thing.
Well, she still is just using a regular Enforcer rifle. She doesn't have her, like, fucking insane...
True.
Hextech rifle she has in the game where she's fucking one of the strongest characters because she's so fucking OP.
True. But so, either way, but yeah, those three characters
are,
like, my top of this part.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll say my top three of this part definitely... Yeah, Caitlyn's number one, but then followed by, I would say, Jinx, of course, because she's the fucking most compelling thing in this whole show. And then probably Mel, because it's still, right now at this point, she seems like manipulative and possibly bad for Jace, because she is corrupting him. But we're going to find out more in the next part, but I liked her, like, also her aesthetic is fucking gorgeous. But I also love her evilness. What?
Mel?
And also the fact that she's from Noxus.
Yeah, thank you.
That helps.
No, all of that shit you just said is small talk. Say how it really is. Oh, she's from fucking Noxus. Noxus. Either way.
No, I think her aesthetic is fucking beautiful as hell. All the gold makeup and the gold eyes and all that stuff. But then also, her like vague Palpatine manipulativeness during the opera scene.
Okay, then, you just
yeah.
Not the Palpatine.
She's almost as hot as Palpatine.
Now I can't see her not wrinkly, and I cannot like stop imagining unlimited power.
I almost made a joke about Darth Plagueis the Wise during the opera scene.
Shut the fuck up, man.
But then, but no, everything about I love Mel. She's a great character. And
she really is a good character.
Fun.
She's very fleshed out.
And compelling before we even get to the actual fleshing out in part 3. But yeah, I love this show. Part 2 is a fun part to talk about for the middle investigativeness of it. But I am looking forward to talking about part 3.
Same here, man. I mean, part 1 was good, part 2 was great, and now we're gonna get to the end of it all.
Oh yeah.
Not in this episode. No, this is just part 2. No. This is like the post-episode kind of talk before we actually like stop the episode.
Well, yeah, because we are at... How much time do you think we're at?
We're probably 210, 220.
Try almost 240.
Well, all right then.
There you go.
Yeah.
How about that?
We can wrap this bad boy up, and
yes,
we can get to the finale of this sometime soon. But
hopefully.
Before then, plug.
Wait, hold on a second.
What?
Chris, shameless plugs, go.
Okay. Done.
Alright, my turn. I'm still working on things because life.
Yeah.
But I don't have any shameless plugs at the moment. So now that we got the 2 out of the way, Matt, shameless plugs, go!
Matthew Lives Podcast, YouTube, Matthew Lives Podcast, Twitter, Matthew Lives Podcast, Patreon, Matthew Lives Podcast on Twitch, ML Podcasts on Letterboxd. Check out those, my reviews. Watch my other podcasts, Forgotten Minotaur King, buy the book on Amazon. Go check out past episodes of Action Toon Bros, and then also Movie Garbage. And my other fucking show coming up soon, Porno on Mars, Investigations of Indignia.
Okay.
And my theoretical podcast with Chris that may someday come out, who knows.
Maybe someday.
I'm sorry, what's your new show called?
Perna and Mars.
Perna, okay. Literally heard porno and Mars.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Porno and Mars.
Porno on Mars?
Yes, I'm going into porn now. The podcast empire.
On Mars.
Next level podcasting is podcast porn. No. Check out those podcasts. All my fucking shows and stuff. It's fun to run a podcasting network, especially when it just costs you money and you don't make any. Now let's see.
By the way, that is 11. 11 tags.
But yeah, follow us next week should be She-Ra, presumably. But after that, we'll finish and wrap up Arcane.
Yeah,
Part
but then
3.
I'll have to... Damn it, that means I'm going to have to pick another thing. All right.
Yeah.
All right, there's so many choices in so little time. I just hope that in part 3, we don't meet anyone from Noxus.
God, who could you imagine? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be fucking dumb. Anyway, from all of us here at Action Toon Bros headquarters, to you guys, thanks for listening, and as always, keep it sleazy.